Chapter 48-41. What an ignorant ant. Lin Xian shook his head and sneered. You think that just because you can't beat me, no one in this world can't beat me? Boy, I admit that I am not invincible under the heavens, and there are many people stronger than me. But you absolutely cannot be one of them. The reason you were able to contend with Demonshine before was because you swallowed some sort of secret pill in advance to forcefully increase your strength. This sort of pill is extremely harmful and will damage a martial artist's foundation. You're dead. Do you think that you can fool me with this kind of insignificant skill of yours? Lin Xian was left speechless. This fellow was far too arrogant. Forget it, he was too lazy to explain. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Think what you want, but I came to find you for an important matter. What is it? Do you want to join forces with me to contend with Demonshine again? In his opinion, Lin Xian should have escaped and wanted to invite him back. Lin Xian sneered. You really are an idiot. I came to find you to tell you that I want to borrow your six-path fists. What did you say? Scattered Six-Paths was thoroughly shocked. This fellow wanted to borrow his six-path fists? What a joke. This was his ultimate skill. Moreover, it was the six-path sect's ultimate skill that he could not pass on to outsiders. This fellow wanted to see it? I'm not crazy, am I? But soon his mind stirred. Could it be that this fellow wanted to take him as his master? Young people all had their pride as geniuses. This fellow must have been too embarrassed to directly say this, so he changed his words. Thinking of this, his heart burned with passion. It had to be known that a genius he had raised had already perished, leaving him with deep regret. If he could take this person as his disciple, that would also be an extremely good thing. He could even use this chance to explore some secrets on this fellow's body. After all, if this fellow was able to jump ranks and contend with Demonshine, he must have had some sort of fortuitous encounter. When the time came, he could hide and become even stronger. Boy, do you want to learn the six-path fists? Sure, kneel down and take me as your master and I will teach you the six-path fists. Lin Xian smiled. This fellow must have hurt his head in that battle. Take him as a master? I think you've misunderstood. I'm not here to take you as my master. I'm here to order you to hand over the Six Paths fist. This Six Paths loose cultivator was from the Six Paths gate. Lin Xian had been hunted down by the Six Paths gate, and there was a chance that he would continue to be hunted down in the future. After all, he had obtained the power of reincarnation. Both sides would become enemies sooner or later, so Lin Xian wouldn't hold back against the people of Six Dao School. The Six Paths vagabond was furious as well. Not only did he not want to become Yi Futian's disciple, he even wanted to force his way in. What a joke! Do you think that just because I'm injured, you can behave atrociously on top of my head? Even if you were given another 5,000 years, you wouldn't be qualified. Stupid thing. Since you don't want it, I'll take it myself. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Then the giant hand reached out. The golden palm descended like the sun, bringing with it terrifying flames. The scattered cultivator of Six Paths dodged the attack. His face was gloomy. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I'll show you what the true Six Paths fist is. He roared and punched out. The power of the Six Paths seemed to be able to engulf reincarnation. It had to be said that the scattered cultivator of Six Paths was really strong. This was a peerless fist technique. Lin Xian wasn't afraid. He used the skywalk step, constantly swaying. A peerless fist technique. It's a pity that it was used like this by you. Damn brat. The scattered cultivator of Six Paths clenched his teeth. His opponent's movement technique was too strange. He clenched his teeth and said, "What? You don't dare to fight me head-on? Look at my ultimate technique, eternal destruction." His fist carried with it the phantom of six worlds, directly enveloping Lin Xian. Go to hell, brat. He hadn't used this attack when he faced Demonshine. In his opinion, he just didn't want to risk his life against Demonshine. Otherwise, even if he used eternal destruction, it would be difficult for him to resist. This brat in front of him was even more impossible to resist. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The six phantoms swallowed everything. The scattered cultivator of Six Paths laughed with satisfaction. Is this your eternal destruction? It's only a so-so. A calm voice came from the front. What? The scattered cultivator of six paths' pupils shrank. You're not dead? How is this possible? Is he not afraid of samsara? His eyes widened. A light cut through the void. He saw Lin Xian standing in the middle of the six phantoms, opening up an independent space. The scattered cultivator of six paths' power couldn't even get close to him. A golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, and a terrifying phantom appeared. Let me show you what the true power of samsara is. Samsara steel. The eye technique in Lin Xian's eyes completely erupted. The power of samsara swept out, directly tearing apart the phantoms of the six worlds. They turned into two steels, suppressing forward. In an instant, the scattered cultivator of six paths' soul was severely injured. He spat out blood, his face full of horror. The power of samsara. Damn it, how can you have this power? He had gone crazy. This was something only the six paths gate had. No, his face was full of shock. Lin Xian used his eyes to release the power of samsara. Could it be that he had Rinnegan? Thinking of this possibility, his scalp went numb. He finally understood why Lin Xian attacked him. The six paths gate was known as the six paths body. As for the Rinnegan that was related to the soul, it was a different branch. After all, the great sage of Kun and the great sage of Qian had different developments, and they were mortal enemies. Both wanted to take the others. Now, he was a member of the Six Paths Gate, and Lin Xian had a terrifying eye technique and the power of samsara. He was obviously a descendant of the great sage of Qian. Damn it, the eye of samsara has appeared. He had to quickly inform the sect and hunt down Lin Xian. Thinking of this, he turned around and fled. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Lin Xian stood on the cliff and looked into the distance. Terrifying flames erupted from his eyes. He formed a hand seal and activated his heavenly secret technique. The fire of samsara. Buzz. The terrifying soul fire floated out and instantly enveloped the other party. The next moment, the scattered cultivator of six paths screamed in the air. His body was twisted. His body was not injured, but his soul was severely injured. Damn it. Lin Xian used the power of samsara. He could only use the power of samsara to block it. Although his soul was not as strange as Lin Xian's, he had cultivated the six paths fist. The fist technique could be used to create six worlds. It turned into Lin Xian, trying to save his life. As expected, the power of Lin Xian blocked Lin Xian's soul fire. The scattered cultivator of six paths' face was pale, and his expression was ferocious. You almost killed me. I didn't expect you to have cultivated the power of samsara to such a level. Unfortunately, you're too young. If I give you another few hundred years, I won't be able to escape. Chapter 48-42. Can't stop you? Lin Xian laughed. You're too naive. Do you think I only have the Rinnegan as a trump card? Six Paths' pupils shrank. Could it be that Lin Xian had an even more powerful trump card? He didn't believe it. What a bluff. Lin Xian said, You were already no match for me when I had yet to break through, let alone now. Back then? Six Paths was stunned. Did he know Lin Xian before? Right, you still don't know who I am. My name is Lin Xian, and I have another title, Mad God. What? You're Mad God? Six Paths exclaimed. He couldn't believe it. How could he not know this name? Back then, he had been suppressed by Mad God. He had thought of countless possibilities. Mad God should be an expert of the older generation, but he had never thought that he would be a young man. Damn it, I don't believe it. Six Paths roared and flew into the sky. He wanted to escape. Lin Xian was too terrifying. You want to leave? Lin Xian waved his hand, and the heaven-devouring jar flew out. A terrifying black vortex swept down from the sky. Get lost. Six Paths roared and punched out, trying to break the vortex. However, he found that he couldn't do it. What is this? He was shocked. Lin Xian had a trump card, and it was extremely powerful. Could it be that he was really Mad God? Thinking of this possibility, he despaired. This was his nightmare. He felt as if his entire body was about to be swallowed by the black jar. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. Before he broke through, Six Paths was already no match for him. Now that he had broken through, How could 6 paths resist him? Devour! With a roar, the heaven-devouring jar's power erupted, and the sky darkened. With a whoosh, 6 paths was swallowed. Lin Xian waved his hand and recalled the sky-swallowing jar. The corners of his mouth curled into a smile. His figure flickered, and he returned to the sect. He went into seclusion in his spiritual abode. This time, he had killed 2 powerful great sages in a row, which gave him a lot of rewards. With a wave of his hand, he first took out Demonshine's storage ring. There were many magic crystals and magic stones, all of which were used to cultivate the Devil Dao. Then, Lin Xian's eyes shone with understanding. When he had destroyed the other party's soul, he had investigated it once. It was all for the sake of collecting the light of the demonic gods, the cultivation method of this divine ability. When he saw the light of the demon god, he was also greatly surprised. It was a very powerful divine ability that Lin Xian could cultivate. Logically speaking, the further one progressed, the harder it would be to cultivate. Many powerful saint kings, and even the great sage, would cultivate a small number of specific laws. Because his energy was limited. However, Lin Xian didn't care at all. He had the great dragon sword spirit, so he didn't need to worry about energy. He frowned slightly. He did not know who this demon master was. Originally, he thought that it should be a mythical figure, a totem-like symbol. But later he found out that it wasn't the case. Before he died, he said that he was the Devil Lord's disciple. Then was this demon lord still alive? Moreover, he was probably an extremely terrifying existence even among the great sage. Could it be that he had reached the peak of the great sage? Or was the demon lord just a title that was inherited by the strongest demonic cultivator in history? He didn't know any of this. He couldn't be bothered to care. After tidying up the light of the demon god, Lin Xian took out the heaven-devouring jar again and checked inside. The scattered 6 paths body had been swallowed long ago. Only his soul was left, and it was weak. If Lin Xian hadn't intentionally left his soul intact, he would have been dead long ago. The heaven-devouring jar was half an extreme weapon, and its power was definitely not something that the great sage could imagine. Seeing Lin Xian come in, the scattered 6 paths soul quickly said, "Assistant, don't kill me. I'm willing to hand over the 6 paths fist." "Very good." Lin Xian nodded. The scattered 6 paths heaved a sigh of relief, but in the next moment his soul roared crazily. "You dare to attack me?" Lin Xian's expression was cold, and an extremely terrifying reincarnation vortex appeared in his eyes. "I can let you live, but from now on, you'll only be my slave. You'll always respect me." He activated an extremely powerful reincarnation power and placed the seal of life and death. The scattered 6 paths soul became extremely weak. The way he looked at Lin Xian changed. He became extremely respectful. Because now, Lin Xian could take his life with a single glance. His soul knelt down on one knee to greet his lord. Lin Xian waved his hand and released the scattered 6 paths soul. Then, he said, "Go and recover on your own. I'll let you know if there's anything." Yes, the scattered 6 paths soul was extremely respectful. He turned around and disappeared as a stream of light. Lin Xian didn't kill him because he was still useful. Letting him live meant that he would be his slave in the future. There were many things that he could let him do. It was equivalent to having a powerful battle servant. Then a smile appeared on his face. The 6 paths fist was also in his hands. He had wanted this fist technique for a long time. The power of the 6 paths fist was extremely terrifying. The scattered 6 paths had been famous for many years because of this peerless fist technique. Lin Xian believed that this fist technique would become even more terrifying in his hands. Because his physique was far from what the scattered 6 paths could compare to. Moreover, the reincarnation power that he possessed was not something that the other party could imagine. Next, Lin Xian also went into seclusion. He entered the sword world and cultivated these 2 techniques with all his might. 4 Spirits Valley. The 4 spirit beasts were also surprised to see that Lin Xian had cultivated 2 powerful divine abilities. How could this kid cultivate all kinds of laws and divine abilities? Could he cultivate them all? A few of them were doubtful. However, not long after, they were shocked. they found that Lin Xian had actually cultivated two different techniques to a certain extent. Could it be that this guy was also an expert of the demonic path? On this day, Lin Xian stopped. He felt that he could no longer improve by cultivating in seclusion. He had to find someone to practice with, but who could he find? With his current strength, it was not easy to find an opponent who was on par with him and was not in life-threatening danger. But soon he smiled. The Sacred Abyss Tower. That place was very suitable. Lin Xian immediately set off for the Sacred Abyss Tower. Previously, he had already reached the 40th level, but he did not continue to break through to the next level. Instead, he started cultivating from the first level again. This time, it was not to increase his ranking, but to cultivate the light of the demon god and the Six Paths Fist. The Sacred Abyss Tower only recorded the highest ranking, so Lin Xian's recultivation would not affect his ranking. Just like that, he did not rest for a moment in the next few months. He did not know how many battles he had experienced. He was even covered in scars. However, Lin Xian did not use any other techniques. He used the Six Paths Fist and the light of the demon god to block. The light of the demon god could penetrate everything. The Six Paths Fist was even more terrifying as it pressed forward. Finally, Lin Xian once again relied on these two divine abilities to reach the first level. He had mastered it. Lin Xian continued to move towards the first level. When he stood on the first level, he smiled. He had completely mastered these two divine abilities. Next, he would continue to break through. This time, he had advanced by a realm. Presumably, his ranking would also increase greatly. Chapter 48-43. In the main hall outside, everyone was either busy or resting. Very few people paid attention to the ranking list again. That was because the ranking on the Holy Gulf Glory ranking was stable most of the time and rarely changed. After all, it was extremely difficult to increase one's ranking. However, on this day, someone exclaimed again, "Look, that mad god's ranking changed again. What? How long has it been? He's going to increase his ranking again? Is Mad God really a person? Why do I feel that it's impossible?" They had never heard of Lin Xian's improvement speed. Even a young great emperor was nothing special. Mad God's ranking rose again, causing another uproar. They realized that his name had risen from the first place to the 1000th place. Heavens, he couldn't have reached the 1000th place, right? How did he do it? These people were crazy. One had to know that the vagabond Six Paths had spent a lot of effort to go from the first place to the first place. It was already so difficult to increase one's ranking, let alone the 1000th place. It was simply unimaginable. However, Mad God did it so easily. This guy was definitely an emperor's son. Someone asserted. Others nodded. Some said that it might not be so. He might be an old monster. It's very likely that he's trying to pressure us. As soon as that was said, many people nodded. They found it hard to believe that a young man could have such heaven-defying strength. All kinds of guesses about Mad God surfaced again. The vagabond Six Paths was shocked when he heard that. Mad God? He now knew that this was his master, the one who had stepped on him back then. However, he no longer felt any hatred towards the other party, only endless respect and admiration. This increase in ranking not only alarmed the surrounding challengers, but also the divine generals of the Holy Gulf Tower. Such a large increase in ranking had not happened for many years, except for the Dragon Prince and Kuanpingzi. Could it be that he was really an emperor's son? One of the divine generals frowned. Another divine general said, "Go and investigate." However, they found that there seemed to be no clues at all. Focus on investigating. We must find him. Perhaps he's the person we're looking for. Do you want him to participate in the challenge? That's right, it's almost time for our appointment, but we don't have enough manpower. It's best to find him and let him participate in the challenge. This way, our chances of winning will be much higher. A few divine generals were whispering in the hall. They had decided that they had to find the Mad God. However, they didn't know that Mad God, also known as Lin Xian, had already received his reward and left. Just like that, he left in front of everyone. Lin Xian returned to the Divine Palace and entered the Sword World once again. He was now filled with curiosity towards this world. In his opinion, since spiritual herbs could be planted here, could spiritual ores be planted here as well? He made various attempts. It was possible, but it could only be done within the 4 spirit mountains. After all, the earth here had already recovered its power, and there was also the dragon flame astral world in the sky. Other than that, the area around the valley was fine as well, but not outside. It seemed like the power of one world was not enough. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and took out a realm core with a wave of his hand. He had obtained this world core from the Vagabond's 6 Paths. Nalan Yenran had given it to the Vagabond's 6 Paths in order to save her life. Later on, the Vagabond's 6 Paths became his battle servant, and this world core also fell into his hands. It seemed that when he had time, he would have to make another trip to the universe and devour this world as well. Turn into a star. Lin Xian knew that this sword world was too mysterious. It was not something that could be restored by fusing 1 or 2 worlds. He was afraid that he would have to use countless worlds to turn into stars in order to restore the vitality of this world. Thinking of this, Lin Xian walked out. Previously, Nalan Yenran had promised him that she would give him 3 more worlds after the matter was done. Now that such a long time had passed, it should be enough. Thinking of this, Lin Xian found Nalan Liang and told him about this matter. Nalan Liang said, "Boss, don't worry, I'll take you there now." The 2 of them headed towards the Nalan family. Nalan Liang first brought Lin Xian to her own lineage to meet her father and grandfather. "Greetings, seniors." Lin Xian was polite. The people from the Nalan family also laughed. "Young Master Lin is too polite." Liang, this child, was born slow-witted. Lin Xian laughed. "He and I are brothers, so we naturally have to advance and retreat together." Nalan Liang also said, "Grandpa, don't worry. Lin Xian is my boss. Under his leadership, I will definitely become stronger and stronger." The middle-aged man and the old man both knew about this, because the current Nalan Liang was already ranked 5th on the stars ranking. Without Lin Xian's help, it would be impossible to achieve such a ranking. "Oh right, Grandpa, young Master Lin has come for a big matter this time." Nalan Liang told him about what had happened. He had already told him about it. Now that the old man heard it, he sucked in a breath of cold air once again. Previously, he thought that his grandson was joking, but now it seemed that it was true. He said, "All right, I'll bring the elders of Yenran's family over." Nalan Liang's grandfather was the 8th elder, and Nalan Yenran's grandfather was the 5th elder. At this moment, the 1st elder held a banquet and sent people to invite the 5th elder and Nalan Yenran. Nalan Yenran's father and others were also invited. At the 5th elder's residence. The 5th elder heard the guard who came to report and nodded. "I understand. Go back and tell 8th brother that I will be there." After the guard left, a middle-aged man walked out from the back of the hall and said, "Father, why did the 8th elder invite us? Who knows what this 8th elder is up to? But other than inviting us, he also invited Yenran. Could it be related to that Lin Xian?" As for Lin Xian's matter, they had already investigated it previously. However, they realized that the results of their investigation were different from what Nalan Yenran had described. This Lin Xian was powerful, but not to such a terrifying extent. Perhaps Yenran remembered wrongly. Anyway, they were very suspicious about this matter. The 5th elder said, "Don't inform Yenran about this matter. The 2 of us will go." "Should I call a few more people?" The middle-aged man was still worried, so he called a few more brothers. Just like that, a group of people headed towards the 8th elder's residence. At this moment, the 8th elder's residence was very lively. All kinds of lights lit up, and exquisite delicacies were served. He was going to welcome Lin Xian. "8th brother, your residence is so lively. Is there something big going to happen today?" A laugh was heard. Then, the 5th elder and others walked in. The surrounding young disciples, guards, and maids all bowed and retreated to the sides. The 8th elder also stood up and said, "5th brother, you are so slow." "Greetings, 8th elder." Behind him, Nalan Yenran's father and other brothers all bowed. Nalan Liang's people also bowed. "Greetings, 5th elder." "Well, we are all on the same side. Don't be so polite." The fifth elder laughed and walked forward. He held the eighth elder's hand and said, "Look at your red face. Something good must have happened." The eighth elder also laughed. He said, "Fifth brother, let me introduce you to someone. You will definitely be interested." Chapter 48-44. Fifth elder raised his eyebrows and asked, "Genius?" Eighth elder smiled. "Fifth elder, it's this young Master Lin. He's the top genius of the True Path sect." Fifth elder pretended to be shocked and looked at Lin Xian. Then he said, "Is that so? Seems like I'm really old. There's a new genius in the True Path sect. I always thought that the most famous people in the True Path sect were the Dragon Prince and the Dragon Prince." As soon as these words came out, eighth elder was stunned, and so was Nailin Liang. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Looking at the other party's attitude, there seemed to be something wrong. Nailin Liang walked out and said, "Fifth elder, you don't know young Master Lin? How is that possible? Sister Nailin was saved because of young Master Lin." Fifth elder was shocked again. "Oh, is that so? I really don't know. Yanran hasn't told me about it yet. If this is true, then I really have to thank this young master for his generosity." Eighth elder's eyes lit up. Why did he feel that the atmosphere wasn't right? He quickly said, "Fifth elder, let's talk while eating." The group of people sat down. Eighth elder raised his cup and said, "Young Master Lin, the Nailin family wants to thank you. First, it's because of Nailin Liang. With your help, this kid's strength increased by leaps and bounds. Let me give you a toast." Then he stood up and drank it in one gulp. Lin Xian said, "Eighth elder, you're too polite. Nailin Liang is my brother. I should help him." Then, the eighth elder poured a second cup of wine and said, "The second thing is that you saved Yanran. Yanran is the #1 genius of the Nailin family. Previously, she was threatened by a mysterious expert and her life was in danger. If not for you, Yanran would have been in danger. So, fifth elder and I will give you a toast." Then, the great elder looked at fifth elder. However, fifth elder just sat there and didn't have any intention of raising his cup. This caused everyone to be stunned. Countless gazes landed on the fifth elder. The fifth elder was actually very clear in his heart. How could he not know who Lin Xian was? He had long since asked around and seen countless portraits of Lin Xian. However, he could not admit to this. Yanran agreed to give the other party 3 worlds. This was a huge amount of wealth, and the resources of these 3 worlds had to be provided by the people of their bloodline. If he gave it to the other party, his heart would bleed. Therefore, he was unwilling. Moreover, he didn't really believe that Lin Xian had the strength to kill the mysterious expert. The way he saw it, the unrestrained 6 paths and the mysterious expert were both injured, and this kid had suddenly jumped out to end the battle. In other words, the other party should be taking advantage of the situation. Another point was that Nailin Liang and this brat were brothers. Since that was the case, the stronger this brat was, the stronger Nailin Liang would be. If he grew to a certain extent, it was very likely that he would replace Nailin Yanran and become the first in the family. That way, their lineage would be greatly suppressed. He would not allow such a thing to happen. Therefore, after much consideration, he felt that he had to suppress Lin Xian. At the very least, he couldn't give them the resources of those 3 worlds. Therefore, when he heard the 8th elder's words, he thought for a while and said calmly, "8th brother, you're being too impatient. As for Yanran's matter, I'll ask her properly when she comes back. If it's really like what you said, I'll invite young Master Lin to a banquet. It's a little too early now." What? The surrounding people were stunned. The 8th elder's eyes lit up. As an old fox, he naturally knew that the 5th elder was trying to go back on his word. The elders had always been in a competitive relationship. Previously, Nailin Yanran was the first in the family, and the 5th elder's lineage was extremely powerful. They were so powerful that they couldn't even raise their heads. Now that Nailin Liang had found a powerful backer like Lin Xian, the 8th elder would naturally stand on Lin Xian's side. Therefore, at this moment, he frowned and said to the 5th elder, "5th elder, that's not right." Nailin Liang was also there, and he saw it with his own eyes. "He can't possibly lie to you." The 5th elder said calmly. How could he take the words of the younger generation seriously? He might be exaggerating. Moreover, how could they understand the strength of the great sage? Are you doubting my boss's strength? Nalan Liang was finally angry. He slammed the table and stood up. The eighth elder shouted angrily, "Sit down, how can you speak to your fifth elder like that?" Nalan Liang gritted his teeth and sat down, but his eyes were filled with dissatisfaction. Today he was really too aggrieved. Fifth elder's words are a little disappointing. Our Nalan family is a top family. If this matter is spread out, we will be laughed at. Who dares to challenge our Nalan family? Just kill him. The fifth elder exuded a domineering aura, shocking everyone. It seemed like the other party was determined not to admit it. At this moment, Lin Xian spoke. The smile on his face disappeared, and there was a trace of cold radiance in his eyes. He said coldly, "There's no need for a toast. I'm not familiar with you. However, I still have to fulfill my promise. Nalan Yenran promised to give me 3 world cores after this matter is settled. Now, hand them over." His words were incomparably cold. To be honest, he did want to make friends with the Nalan family, and even wanted the Nalan family to fight in his Divine Union camp. Before he came, he had been full of expectations. After all, he was the other party's savior. Even if the other party bargained and only gave him 2 world cores, Lin Xian felt that it was fine. However, the other party actually refused to admit that he had saved his life, and even showed a doubtful attitude. This made Lin Xian very angry. Since this was the case, Lin Xian naturally wouldn't try to rope the other party in. He would treat this debt of saving his life as a transaction. After this, there would be no more interactions. However, the fifth elder laughed when he heard this. 3 world cores? Could it be that this young master was joking? Why didn't I know about this? Could it be that you want to renege on your debt? Lin Xian's eyes flashed with killing intent once again. Not only did the other party not appreciate his kindness, but he also wanted to be ungrateful. The fifth elder said, "I've already said that Nalan Yenran didn't tell me about this. She's not in the family right now. When she returns, I'll ask her before making a decision. Young Master Lin, take your time eating. I still have some matters to attend to." With that, the fifth elder stood up. The few middle-aged men beside him followed suit. It seemed like they didn't intend to stay any longer. The people on the eighth elder's side were also stunned. They hadn't expected the fifth elder and the others to go back on their word. "Damn it, this is too despicable." Nalan Liang roared. Was this his fifth grandpa? How embarrassing. Lin Xian also stood up and said coldly, "Where's Nalan Yenran? Ask her to come and see me." The fifth elder stopped in his tracks, and Nalan Yenran's father also turned his head. Nalan Yenran wasn't in the family. She was out on a mission. She might return in a few months or a few years. Chapter 48-45. Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes became colder and colder. He said coldly, "Nalan Yenran was the one who asked for the 3 world cores, and the price was to buy her life. I saved her life, so I have to get the 3 world cores. Otherwise..." Lin Xian didn't continue. The people around him sucked in a breath of cold air. The middle-aged man in front of him shouted angrily, "Kid, are you threatening me? If you understand it as a threat, then it's fine. Since I can save her life, I can take it. That's all I have to say. I want to see 3 realm cores within a month." With that, Lin Xian waved his sleeve and rushed into the sky, turning into a sword light and disappearing. The people on the 8th elder's side were stunned, while the people on the 5th elder's side were furious. Nalan Yenran's father snorted, "You dare to threaten us? You don't know what's good for you." The 5th elder said coldly, "Let's go." They didn't care about the words of a young man. The Nalan family had seen many storms, but they had never been threatened by a young man. The 5th elder and the others left with cold smiles. Nalan Liang roared, "What elder? Embarrassing? How could the family have such a despicable person?" "Liang, don't be rude." The 8th elder scolded. Then he said, "5th elder was indeed in the wrong. Why don't I go and persuade him again?" "You should go and persuade young Master Lin. Maybe Yenran really didn't say anything. How could he take it?" Nalan Liang said, "Grandpa, we're not fools. Nalan Yenran was saved, how could she not say anything? Back then, I was called over by the fifth elder for questioning. They asked me a lot of information about Boss Lin. Now they're playing dumb. I think they just don't want to give up the 3 world cores. But just wait, they'll regret it. Nalan Liang's father also frowned. You think too highly of young Master Lin. He's powerful, but can he shake the Nalan family? Father, Grandpa, you don't know how powerful young Master Lin is. There are some things I can't tell you now. But let me remind you, don't ever offend him. Take it as my grandson begging you. Otherwise, you'll die without a burial place. Just wait, Nalan Yenran will soon be out of luck. The 8th patriarch sucked in a cold breath. It seemed like he had to investigate this Lin Xian thoroughly. He looked at his grandson and said, "Don't worry, we will definitely support you. We will stand on young Master Lin's side." This made Nalan Liang heave a sigh of relief. He knew that Lin Xian was not only a disciple of the Tao sect. His opponent was the Mad God. That was someone who was ranked 1000 on the honor roll. It had only been a few years, and he had already reached that rank. His talent wasn't any weaker than the disciples back then. Would anyone who provoked such a person have a good ending? So what if the Nalan family is powerful? Nalan Liang was very clear about this. One had to know that he was also a young genius, so how could he not understand such a small matter? At the same time, he was also puzzled. Had the 5th elder's people really gone mad? In fact, he couldn't be blamed for being puzzled because what Lin Xian had done was too shocking. Nalan Liang had stayed by Lin Xian's side for a long time. He knew a little about Lin Xian's background, which was why he trusted him so much. The others, including the 8th elder and the others, were also skeptical. If Lin Xian was the emperor's son, it wouldn't be surprising for him to do such a thing. However, Lin Xian wasn't. That was why they were suspicious. Nalan Liang shook his head, said goodbye to his father, and hurried back to the Tao sect. After returning, he found Lin Xian and said, "Boss Lin, I didn't know this would happen. Please punish me." Lin Xian said, "It has nothing to do with you. Also, it's best for your family to distance themselves from Nalan Yenran." "I know this. I've already told my grandfather, and they are all on your side. Also, my grandfather will persuade the 5th elder. Maybe things will turn around." "I hope so. However, I'll only give her 1 month. This is the final deadline." Lin Xian didn't have much hope. Thus, he started to contact the dark red divine dragon and prepared to set up the array formation. This time, they weren't dealing with 1 or 2 experts, but an entire family. Although it wasn't the entire Nalan family, the power of that lineage couldn't be underestimated. They might even become enemies with the entire Nalan family. Therefore, Lin Xian had to be well prepared. The current divine union wasn't just made up of the few of them at the start. It had already accommodated a few hundred people. These people weren't weak. They were good at fighting and had great strength. They also had the support of their families and sections. Once Lin Xian used all his strength, this power would be unimaginably strong. The dark red divine dragon and Fu Hongye had already started to gather power and provide powerful resources. They had even set up many array formations. Lin Xian waited patiently. Nalan Liang kept running back to the family to ask for news. More than 20 days had passed, but there was still no news from the 5th elder. Nalan Yenran didn't seem to appear either. The 8th elder, Nalan Liang, and the others sighed. They knew that there was no turning back. Finally, a month's time was up. Lin Xian stood up. Since the other party wasn't willing to give it to him, he would take back what belonged to him personally. On the other side, at the Nalan family, the 5th elder and the others sneered. A month's time was up. What could he do? Nalan Yenran's father said, "If he dares to make a move on us, we'll cripple him. Yenran has been cultivating in seclusion. Let her go out. The Sky Sect's Xing Tian has been looking for her for a gathering. He has already come several times. I've already rejected him. This time, I can't reject him again," the 5th elder said. The middle-aged man's eyes lit up. This Xing Tian wasn't bad. He was from the Xing Tian family, which was the ancient tribe. His status was enough to match Yenran. More importantly, he was stronger than Yenran in the Xing Tian family. Moreover, he was the personal disciple of an elder. His status in the heavenly sect was extraordinary. If Yenran could become his cultivation partner, she might have a chance to become the disciple of an elder. By then, Yenran would definitely soar to the sky. Father, you might be the next clan leader of the Nalan family. The fifth elder laughed proudly. However, he still said, don't talk about things that haven't happened yet. Father, don't worry. I know. But I'll go and inform Yenran. We must get on Shengtian's good side. Moon Spirit Valley. Holy Abyss Ancient City was a very famous place. The scenery here was very beautiful, especially when it was late. There would be even more heaven and earth anomalies. Every night, one could see immortals flying under the moon. Therefore, this place was extraordinary. Countless experts and geniuses gathered for banquets. At this moment, there was a banquet in the Moon Spirit Valley. Those who came were all top-notch geniuses. Their identities and strengths were frighteningly high. The host of the banquet was Shengtian family, a top genius of the ancient tribe. At the same time, he was also an expert on the Xian ranking of the heavenly sect. More importantly, he was the personal disciple of an elder. With such identities added together, their appeal was terrifying. Chapter 48-46. Nalan Yenran stood in front of the snow maple tree in a daze. No one knew what she was thinking about. Today, she was specially dressed. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens, causing countless people to look up to her. Many young geniuses had fiery eyes, but after asking around, they gave up. Not many people dared to have any ideas. This was because they knew that this event was specially organized by Sacred Sky for Nalan Yenran. Little sister Yenran, what are you thinking about? A few geniuses of the Sky sect walked over and asked with a smile. The snow maple tree swayed, and countless leaves fell, turning into the law of snow that swept through the world. This scene was exceptionally beautiful. Nalan Yenran turned around and smiled. Senior sister, don't think too much. You don't have to worry about the family matters. You, young Master Shengtian, he spent a lot of effort for you, but you didn't even thank him. That's right, don't let senior brother Shengtian wait too long. Senior sister, don't make fun of me. Nalan Yenran blushed, but soon, she picked up a cup of spirit wine and walked forward. Senior brother Shengtian. A tall man turned around. He was wearing battle armor that bloomed with multicolored light, looking extraordinarily mighty. It was the outstanding genius, Sacred Sky. He smiled. Junior sister Yenran, how are you? Are you in a better mood? Thank you for your concern, senior brother. I'm much better. Oh right, senior brother, have you heard anything about that person? The person she was talking about was naturally Lin Xian. Previously, Lin Xian had saved her life, and she had promised him 3 world cores. Later, when Lin Xian had come to her family, her grandfather had asked her to go into seclusion. Nalan Yenran also knew about the situation after that. Her grandfather had directly rejected Lin Xian, saying that he wouldn't give him 3 more world cores. And Lin Xian had said that he would come and get it himself a month later. This made Nalan Yenran uneasy. After all, she had seen Lin Xian kill Mo Guang with her own eyes. That kind of strength had frightened her. The scene of that day was deeply imprinted in her mind, and she couldn't forget it. Thinking of him, Nalan Yenran couldn't help but feel terrified. This was also the reason why she couldn't feel at ease. Shengtian smiled. So that was the reason. Yenran, don't worry. That brat is nothing to be afraid of. Let me tell you. As he spoke, he pulled Nalan Yenran to sit under a tree on the snowy peak. Shengtian said. Lin Xian was a disciple of the Dao sect. He had joined a few years ago and had shocked the world. He had established the divine union in the Dao sect and even fought against the Dragon Palace. But from what I see, it's just that. He is a top genius, but he is too reckless. He challenged Dragon Palace. Do you think he will have a good ending? The Dragon Palace was founded by the Imperial Prince. At present, the Dragon Prince would not care about such ants. However, if he really got angry one day, he could destroy them with a single finger. Furthermore, I've also managed to find out more about him. He had come from Grand Clarity Ancient City, where he had also set off a storm. However, that was not his power. It was the power of the heavenly court. He only knew someone from the heavenly court. So what if he was from the heavenly court? The heavenly court had already been destroyed 10,000 years ago. Even if it wasn't dead, its vitality would be greatly damaged. Moreover, that was the Grand Clarity Ancient City, and this was the Holy Abyss Ancient City. The difference between the two was like night and day. More importantly, I heard that he was from the Immortal Burial Ground. He was judged by the Purple Mansion sect to not be tolerated by the heavens and earth, and had no future. There was nothing to worry about such a person. Nalan Yenran knew some of the previous news, but she had never heard of the latter few. Someone from the Immortal Burial Ground. Was he really the kind of person that heaven and earth could not tolerate? How could my information be wrong? My Saint Heaven's clan is in Grand Clarity Ancient City, and there are even people who have interacted with him. The news came from the family, so it couldn't be wrong. Sheng Tian smiled. Nalan Yenran heaved a sigh of relief. Previously, Lin Xian had given her too much fear. However, when she heard that he had no future, she was secretly delighted. In other words, even though the other party was powerful now, she would be able to catch up to him in the future. She might even be able to trample on him. However, that was a matter for the future. Right now, she was still worried. Nalan Yenran said, "Senior brother, he killed an expert of the demonic path. That expert was stronger than the unaccompanied Six Paths junior sister. Don't worry. I've thought about this matter. You were uneasy when you were being hunted down, so you lost your ability to judge. According to my conjecture, the unaccompanied Six Paths and the unaccompanied Six Paths were injured. However, the unaccompanied Six Paths was injured externally, while the unaccompanied Six Paths was injured internally. At that time, the unaccompanied Six Paths was forcefully holding on for the sake of deterrence. At that time, Lin Xian might have realized the problem, so he jumped out and used some strength to kill the unaccompanied Six Paths. He was just taking advantage of the unaccompanied Six Paths. If the unaccompanied Six Paths hadn't attacked first, he wouldn't have been able to defeat the unaccompanied Six Paths. If he met the unaccompanied Six Paths in a head-on battle, he would definitely die. Junior sister, you can even suppress him. Have some confidence. However, I'm still afraid." Nalan Yenran was nervous. Sheng Tian took the opportunity to grab Nalan Yenran's hand and said, "Junior sister, don't worry. If he really dares to come, I'll help you." There was a hint of arrogance in his eyes. His strength was terrifying. In addition, he was the personal disciple of an elder, and his master was an elder of the heavenly sect. He could do whatever he wanted in the heavenly sect. Therefore, he didn't care about Lin Xian at all. "Are you guys talking about Lin Xian?" Qing Feng walked over and asked in a deep voice. So it was Fairy Feng. Sheng Tian stood up and smiled. "Fairy Feng, do you know Lin Xian?" Qing Feng shook her head. She didn't know him, but she had seen him a few times. "That's good. Since Lin Xian dared to threaten junior sister Yenran, I won't let him off." Qing Feng was stunned. Won't let Lin Xian off? She knew that Sheng Tian was strong, but how strong could he be? He was only on par with them. She had seen Lin Xian's strength before. He had completely suppressed her and Bai Li Fei. How could Sheng Tian fight against such a person? She was also acquainted with Sheng Tian. Just as she was about to persuade him, a cry came from the front. Countless rays of light danced in the air. Sheng Tian smiled. "Junior sister Yenran, come quickly. This is the gift I've prepared for you." There was an orchid blooming in front of them. It shone with a cold light. It was beautiful. Sheng Tian pulled Nalan Yenran to the front and said, "This is called the Dark Night Orchid. It blooms once a year. I found it especially for you. Today, we'll witness its blooming together." It was so beautiful. Nalan Yenran finally smiled. It seemed that the threat of Lin Xian had disappeared. Chapter 48-47. Qing Feng shook her head and sighed as she looked at the scene. How could Nalan Yenran still be smiling? Did she really think that the sacred sky could protect her? At this moment, another tall figure walked to Qing Feng's side. It was Bai Li Fei. Bai Li Fei said, "Lin Xian would not let this go." Qing Feng nodded. That was true. Lin Xian dared to challenge the Dragon Palace, not to mention the Nalan family. A storm was about to break out. Aren't you going to persuade her? Bai Li Fei said. Qing Feng shook her head. Do you think it would be useful for me to persuade her? They had heard a little about Nalan Yenran. Since Nalan Yenran had seen Lin Xian's strength with her own eyes, how were they going to persuade her now that she was suspicious? Some geniuses laughed beside Sheng Tian and Nalan Yenran. Fairy Yenran, no matter what difficulties you have, just tell Sheng Tian. Sheng Tian would definitely be able to take care of everything. That was for sure. Sheng Tian's master was an elder of the heavenly sect. Moreover, we will support Fairy Yenran. Nalan Yenran was relieved when she heard this. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, would he be able to fight against the people around her? The smile on her face became even more beautiful. She was admiring the dark orchid in front of her. Dao sect, God abode. The toad jumped over and said, Kid, I have news about Nalan Yenran. Where was she? Lin Xian opened his eyes. A month was up. There was no need for him to hold back. The toad said, Moon Spirit Valley. This is the mark on the map. He sent out a ray of light and it turned into a map of the ancient city. Lin Xian looked at it and nodded. He then flew into the sky. His speed was extremely fast. He even summoned the Void Beast to open a space tunnel, allowing him to teleport. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared. Was the Moon Spirit Valley in front of him? Lin Xian stood high up in the 9 heavens and saw the scene of immortals flying under the moon. He was extremely shocked. It was truly a mystical place. It had been a month and they were still in the mood to play here without giving him the 3 world cores. It seemed that the other party had made up his mind not to give it to him. Lin Xian descended and walked towards the Moon Spirit Valley in big strides. Stop, who are you? Do you have an invitation? There were a few hundred figures outside the Moon Spirit Valley. These were the battle servants brought by the geniuses inside. They're outside, responsible for the safety of the whole valley. When they saw Lin Xian walking toward them, the 2 battle servants immediately went up to him and said in a cold voice, I don't have an invitation, but I do have this. Lin Xian's eyes blossomed with an extremely terrifying radiance. In an instant, the 2 battle servants' bodies shook, and confusion appeared in their eyes. With a plop, he fell to his knees. Not good, the enemy is attacking. Several hundred battle servants shouted angrily, wanting to attack. However, Lin Xian activated his eye technique with all his might. Samsara spring and autumn. Between heaven and earth, a pair of golden eyes looked down. The battle servants felt a huge impact on their souls. Not good. Close your eyes. Don't look. It was an illusion. They wanted to roar, but no sound came out. Even if they closed their eyes, it was useless. Lin Xian directly attacked their souls. The few hundred battle servants were all enveloped, and their souls entered an illusion world. There, they would be reincarnated 100 times. The battle servants stood there, turned into statues, and their eyes were filled with pain. Lin Xian casually walked past these people, and no one was able to stop him. Just like that, he entered the valley. There were quite a few people inside, and each of them had a powerful aura. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with a golden radiance, and he instantly stared at Nalan Yenran. The next moment he smiled. Fairy Nalan, you're in a good mood. Didn't your grandfather say that you were out on a mission? What? You have time to admire flowers here. Lin Xian's voice wasn't loud, but it clearly reached everyone's ears. Immediately, many people were shocked and turned around. Nalan Yenran's pupils shrank, and her body trembled. The smile on her face froze. Did the enemy find her? Sacred Sky frowned when he saw this scene. He turned around, and a cold radiance burst out from his eyes. Dozens of large cracks appeared in the sky. He looked at Lin Xian. In an instant, everyone in the valley looked over. It's this kid. Who is he? Is he here to pursue Nalan Yenran? Does he want to compete with Sacred Sky? Ridiculous. Lin Xian ignored these discussions and walked towards Nalan Yenran. Stop. Who are you? You look unfamiliar. We didn't invite you. A man in purple armor shouted coldly. You're quite bold, to dare to barge into the Moon Spirit Valley? He let out a loud shout. But after waiting for a long time, no one rushed in. This surprised him. The others were also in an uproar. What's going on? Where are the battle servants outside? They all summoned them, but found that not a single battle servant came in. Everyone was stunned. Could it be that this kid did it? They all stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "Don't be nervous, I'm not here for you, I'm here for her." Nalan Yenren. Fairy Nalan, do you still remember our agreement? What agreement? Brat, don't speak without thinking. Sheng Tian also stepped forward and said coldly. Lin Xian ignored him. Nalan Yenran, you promised to give me 3 world cores when I saved you. Are you going back on your word now? 3 world cores. Countless people were shocked. This was a shocking amount of wealth. Everyone was stunned. To be honest, they knew that something had happened to Nalan Yenran, but they didn't know the details. So they had never heard of the agreement of 3 world cores. Now that Lin Xian said it, they were all shocked. No way, Fairy Nalan really agreed to give him 3 world cores? What a joke. Who is this kid? Is he asking for too much? How could Nalan Yenran agree to such an unreasonable request? Nalan Yenran's face became incomparably pale. Ever since she found out that her grandfather had rejected Lin Xian, she had been worried that Lin Xian would come looking for her. She didn't expect that it would finally happen today. Would she really be able to stop him? At this moment, Sacred Sky held her hand and smiled. Don't worry, I'm here. He walked out with a gloomy expression. Kid, I don't know who you are, but with your status, how could you know Yenran? It's even more impossible for her to agree to 3 world cores. I suspect that you're just here to cause trouble. Do you think Yenran is someone you can provoke? Men, get him out. I don't want an ant here to ruin Yenran's good mood. Chapter 48-48. The purple-robed man walked out and said coldly, Kid, did you hear that? Get lost. Today, young Master Shengtian invited all the top geniuses. You're just an ant and you don't have the right to be here. Lin Xian stared at the purple-robed man and laughed. Others might not know, but someone like you is worthy of being called a top genius? Since when were the top geniuses so cheap? Kid, are you challenging me? Do you want to die? Feng Mo's body emitted a cold killing intent and the surrounding space cracked. Lin Xian looked at him and laughed. Are you from the Sky Sect? If Kunpengzi was here, he would have the right to say that. You don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a terrifying light as he used his eye technique. Feng Mo's pupils shrank as he felt his soul being torn apart. His entire face was contorted with rage. Damn it. He was too careless. He didn't expect Lin Xian's soul to be so strong. He wanted to resist, but it was too late. A powerful soul intent pressed down on his soul, causing him to kneel on the ground. The ground was shattered, and countless cracks appeared. Lin Xian's lips curled up as he looked ahead. Oh, aren't you a top-notch genius? Why are you kowtowing to me? Aren't you being too polite? Feng Mo was so angry that he vomited blood. He gritted his teeth and roared, Damn kid, you dare to sneak attack me with your soul. Go to hell. He waved his hand, and a purple lightning bolt flew out from his sleeve. It turned into a purple qilin and charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian laughed coldly and didn't move. When the purple lightning bolt arrived, he stretched out 2 fingers and pinched it. With a crack, the terrifying lightning bolt shattered. Lin Xian pointed forward. Light of the demon god. The black light seemed to have come from the demon world and directly pierced through Feng Mo's head. Feng Mo's body was torn apart, and his soul was nailed to the ground. In the blink of an eye, Feng Mo was severely injured. The expressions of the surrounding people changed, especially those beside Shengtian. They all roared in anger. Brat, are you courting death? Another figure walked out. This person was surrounded by terrifying flames. How dare you attack my Sky Sect? You must be tired of living. His palm turned into a flaming heavenly steel and pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian flicked his finger, and another ray of demonic light flew out of the flames. The heavenly steel shattered, and that person spat out large mouthfuls of blood as if he was struck by lightning. The reincarnation steel. Lin Xian used his eye technique, and a heavenly soul steel appeared to suppress him. With a plop, the man fell to his knees again, his body trembling. The others were shocked. Their bodies stopped in midair. The other party was too terrifying. Lin Xian didn't let the two of them off either. Wherever his gaze passed, their souls burned. One by one, they were sent flying while vomiting blood. The surrounding people were stunned. This kid was too strong. With just a few simple moves, he had seriously injured the experts of the Sky Sect. Nalan Yenran's eyes narrowed. How strong? She felt that Lin Xian was even more terrifying than before. She was regretting it now. Perhaps she really should have given him 3 world cores. However, this was her grandfather's decision. Moreover, she had regretted it back then. She really didn't know what to do now. Lin Xian stepped on the people who were kneeling on the ground and walked over, stomping their heads into the ground. Then, he came in front of Nalan Yenran and smiled. I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to give me 3 world cores or not? Nalan Yenran was conflicted. She didn't want to give them, but she was afraid. Sheng Tiankong, who was standing at the side, stood in front of Nalan Yenran and said, Brat, aren't you being too arrogant? Today is my banquet, and you came to injure my people. Are you looking down on the Sky Sect? Now kneel obediently and kowtow to me. If I'm in a good mood, I might spare your life. Also, you'd better disappear from where Yenran is in the future. She's not someone you can challenge. Sheng Tian looked down at Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at him and asked indifferently, Who do you think you are? Tell me, I don't kill nameless people. I'm Sheng Tian. Sheng Tian clan. Lin Xian frowned. How dare you? Someone beside him shouted. Sheng Tian is an expert on the Xian ranking. He's a top genius and the personal disciple of the Sky Sect's elder. How can an ant like you compare to his status? Someone snorted from afar. Lin Xian didn't even turn his head. He threw out the 6 Dao strikes. This punch seemed to be able to turn the world around. The person who spoke was turned into a bloody mist. This time, not even his soul was left behind. His body and soul were destroyed. The people around felt their scalps go numb. They were terrified. This guy is too arrogant. He killed a genius with a single punch. Lin Xian retracted his fist and shouted coldly. Some people don't understand what I'm saying. If you're not convinced, you can continue to be arrogant in front of me. I'll send you to hell. At this moment, Lin Xian was extremely domineering. How dare you kill him? Sheng Tian was completely enraged. His eyes seemed to be spitting fire. Lin Xian said coldly, So you're from the Sheng Tian clan. But you're not qualified to be arrogant in front of me. Even the patriarch of your Holy Heavens clan would have to give me some face when standing in front of me, let alone you. Get lost. If you dare to stop me again, I'll send you to hell. Countless people were shocked. Sheng Tian went crazy. How dare Sheng Tian look down on the clan leader of the Sheng Tian clan? Preposterous. I'll suppress him. Sheng Tian was really angry. Be careful. He's very strong. Nalan Yenran was nervous. The others also stepped back. Sheng Tian's face was cold. Don't worry. No matter how strong he is, he won't be able to defeat me. With that, he waved his hand and slapped out a heavenly diagram. It was the heavenly diagram. It seemed like he was going to kill Sheng Tian. Lin Xian punched out with his left fist. 6 path fists. His fist was unstoppable. Not only did it have the physique of the 9 yang divine body, but it also had the terrifying power of the 6 path fists. Countless people were shocked. They didn't know what the outcome would be. Some people said that Sheng Tian's killing intent was the ultimate technique of their clan. The heavenly diagram could seal the heavens and earth. Sheng Tian couldn't resist it. In the next instant, the two collided. Sheng Tian thought so too. He thought that Sheng Tian wouldn't die if he attacked. However, he regretted it when his fist collided with Sheng Tian's. Sheng Tian's fist was too terrifying. It was like a fist god. Sheng Tian's entire palm trembled. It felt like his entire body was going to split apart. Damn it! I don't believe it! Suppress him! Sheng Tian roared. His right palm bloomed with dazzling light. Endless great Tao descended. Chapter 48-49. The sage sky map shattered and sage blood dripped down. Many people's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was completely different from what they had expected. Sheng Tian's face was even more ferocious. He quickly retreated and his palm returned to normal. Good lad, I have underestimated you. I did not expect you to have such a strong physique. However, you have underestimated me. Let me show you what a true expert is. Sheng Tian shouted angrily. Boundless light shone from his back and formed a sky map. Terrifying Daos danced on it. The entire area became oppressive. Everyone felt that their souls and blood were about to be sealed. It was terrifying. They tried their best to retreat. In the distance, Qing Feng and Bai Lifei's eyes flickered. Lin Xian is here again. Bai Lifei clenched his fists. That punch was too terrifying. Lin Xian's strength has increased too much. I have no confidence in winning. Previously, Bai Lifei had lost to Lin Xian twice. Naturally, he had to cultivate crazily. Now that his strength had increased, he wanted to challenge Lin Xian again. However, when he saw Lin Xian's punch, his confidence was shattered again. Qing Feng smiled wryly. Why did she feel that this guy was so strange? How did he increase his strength? Even as a member of the Phoenix race, she did not have the right to face Lin Xian. She sighed. The Holy Sky sect was probably going to suffer. When the surrounding people heard Qing Feng's words, they were stunned. Sheng Tan was going to be miserable? How is that possible? Given Sheng Tian's strength, even if he was injured previously, it must have been due to carelessness. Now that he had used his full strength, how could he lose to Lin Xian? Sheng Tian turned into a bolt of lightning and carried the sky map on his back. He took a step forward and the earth shook. Seal. His palms formed a seal and the sky map on his back surged out. It carried an ancient and mysterious aura. Countless seals appeared around Lin Xian. He felt that the space around him was solidifying and was about to be completely suppressed. His body shook and he used the heavenly walk step. He disappeared in a flash of light. His original location was sealed and he had appeared in another location. The Six Paths fist attacked. It's useless. You're no match for me. Sacred Sky was emotionless, and the sky diagram behind him shone even brighter. He actually dared to attack head-on? When he saw Lin Xian charging straight at him, he didn't even try to dodge. His heavenly map descended and transformed into 16 heavenly steels. He wanted to suppress them in one fell swoop. Lin Xian brandished his fists continuously, displaying an indomitable will. Boom! The 16 heavenly steels shook violently. Cracks appeared on them, and they suddenly split apart. How could this be? Countless people were terrified. Sheng Tenkong spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying, his expression extremely ugly. He had already done his best, yet he was still unable to do anything to the other party? Light of the demon god. Lin Xian spread out his 10 fingers, releasing a terrifying demonic light. Holy Sky used all of its power to block half of the attack. However, the other half pierced through his body. Half of his body shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Lin Xian took a step forward and arrived in front of Nalan Yenran like a bolt of lightning. I've already given you many chances, but you still don't repent. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. What do you want? Nalan Yenran was terrified. She didn't even have the courage to attack. Lin Xian said coldly, I saved your life back then, and I can take your life today. Your life is in my hands, not the heavens. With that, Lin Xian attacked with lightning speed. Damn it! Nalan Yenran roared and attacked crazily, striking out with a peerless attack. However, it was useless in front of Lin Xian. Boom! A piercing sword light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, directly splitting apart all the divine abilities. A black jar appeared in his hand. It floated up and down and directly swallowed Nalan Yenran. No way, Nalan Yenran was suppressed in an instant? Countless people were shocked. Lin Xian's methods were too terrifying. Damn it, let Nalan Yenran go. Sheng Tian roared. He had already recovered his physique, and he attacked again. This time, he took out a scroll that emitted an extremely terrifying great Tao. Could it be the sacred weapon of the Sacred Heavens clan, the heavenly map? Countless people were shocked. No, it was a replica of the sacred weapon, and its power was no weaker than the great sage weapon. It seemed that this time, he had to use his trump card. With such a weapon, he wouldn't be defeated again. Sheng Tian's expression was ferocious as he used the heavenly map to attack. The power of the heavenly map was several times stronger than before. Lin Xian's face was completely gloomy. He put away the heaven-devouring jar, and his eyes were filled with extremely terrifying killing intent. I've already spared you several times because you're from the Sacred Heavens clan, but you still don't repent. Since that's the case, I'll send you to hell. Lin Xian waved his hand, and a dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared. With a slash of the sword, the power in his body disappeared instantly, and this slash was enough to split the heavens and earth. The entire Moon Spirit Valley shook nonstop. Countless people were terrified. After this slash, the heavenly map was split into two. Sheng Tian's body stopped in place, and his eyes were wide open. The light was disappearing. He couldn't believe it. You dare to kill me? He spat out a few words with great difficulty, and then his body split apart. Was he dead? Countless people were stunned. That was Sheng Tian. He was a top genius of the Sacred Heavens clan, and the personal disciple of an elder of the heavenly sect. Even if the other great sage weapons could defeat Sheng Tian, they wouldn't dare to kill him. But now, this kid in front of them didn't hold back at all and directly destroyed Sheng Tian. Wasn't he afraid of the Sacred Heavens clan's revenge? Wasn't he afraid of the heavenly sect's elders? However, Lin Xian wasn't afraid at all. He kept the dragon-shaped sword shadow and said coldly. He told the Nalan family's fifth elder that if he wanted Nalan Yenron's life, he would have to offer 0 world cores. After saying that, Lin Xian's body flashed, and he disappeared from the world. The surrounding people went crazy. Didn't he say 3 world cores before? Why did it become 0 world cores? Qing Feng sighed. Since he dared to provoke Lin Xian, he had to pay 10 times the price. Everyone's scalps went numb. Someone looked at Qing Feng and said, Fairy Feng, you seem to know this person very well. Who is he? How can he be so powerful? Countless people were terrified. Those from the heavenly sect gritted their teeth as they looked at Sheng Tian's body, and their scalps went numb. They knew that a huge storm was coming. They had to find out who exactly that brat was. Qing Feng said, Don't you know? He's Lin Xian of the True Dao sect. He was Lin Xian, who had challenged the Dragon Palace, killed the Dragon Prince's clone, and established the Divine Union to compete with the Dragon Palace. This guy had such a shocking battle record. Countless people sucked in a cold breath. Where did he come from? Why did it feel like he had appeared out of thin air? Chapter 4850. Lin Wudi. This name was too arrogant. Who in the world dared to claim to be invincible? However, when they thought of what Lin Fan had done, they were terrified. He even dared to kill the disciple of a Sky Sect elder. How could he not be arrogant? The people from the Sky Sect gritted their teeth. True Path Sect, Lin Wudi. We will remember this. They took Sheng Tian's body and left quickly. The others also left the Moon Spirit Valley and went their separate ways. The news spread quickly and many people were shocked. Someone dared to do such an arrogant thing. Was he tired of living? He killed the disciple of a Sky Sect elder. He suppressed the number 1 genius of the Nalan family. What else did he want? In an instant, many people were investigating. When the Nalan family heard the news, they were stunned. Nalan Yenran was suppressed by Lin Xian? And he took her away. Damn it. Nalan Yenran's father roared crazily. The fifth elder's face darkened. He had thought of countless possibilities. He had thought that Lin Xian would come knocking on his door. However, he had never thought that Lin Xian would dare to attack Nalan Yenran. Was he not afraid of his anger? This kid might just be threatening us. He wouldn't dare to do it. An expert beside him said. The others nodded in agreement. However, when they heard that Lin Xian had killed Sheng Tian, their faces turned green. They were all horrified. The fifth elder roared crazily. No, they had to find Yenron's whereabouts. Sheng Tian's status was even more terrifying than Nalan Yenron's. If Lin Fan could kill such a person, Nalan Yenran would not be able to do so. If they really angered Lin Fan, he would not show mercy. Therefore, they had to find Lin Fan quickly. When the 8th elder heard the news, he gasped. Wasn't this a little too unwise? Suppressing Nalan Yenran was understandable. However, killing Sheng Tian would offend the Sky Sect. Nalan Liang sighed. He did not say anything. However, he knew that Lin Xian had a nickname, Mad God. How could he be afraid of killing Sheng Tian? If he dared to challenge the Dragon Prince, why would he be afraid of an elder of the Sky Sect? All of a sudden, the entire Holy Abyss ancient city was talking about this matter. This was because Lin Xian was too shocking. The elders couldn't find Fairy Yenran. He couldn't find the kid's whereabouts. A series of reports could be heard coming from the 5th elder's residence. The 5th elder's face was gloomy and cold. He shattered the void with a punch. Damn it. Nalan Yenran's father asked. Were they really going to give that brat 3 world cores? What kind of joke was this? The experts at the side roared in anger. If they were threatened by a brat, they would obediently give it up. Would they still have the face to go out in the future? He would definitely become the laughingstock of the world. The 5th elder said through gritted teeth. Spread the news that we're willing to give him 3 world cores in exchange for Yenran. However, we will secretly mobilize our men and set up an inescapable net. I'll make a trip to the Sky Sect to see Elder Tianxue. Sheng Tiankong was his personal disciple, and now that he was killed, I refuse to believe that he wouldn't be enraged. If we can get Elder Tianxue to take action, it doesn't matter how talented he is. No matter how strong he is, he will still be suppressed. Hurry up and take action. The 5th elder waved his hand and the experts under him started to move. At the same time, he was also preparing to head to the Sky Sect. After the people from the Sky Sect returned, they spread the news. The entire Sky Sect was in an uproar. What a mistake! Lin Xian from the True Path Sect was too arrogant. How dare he kill a genius from the Sky Sect? Did he really think that the Sky Sect was a pushover? Let's go to the True Path Sect. They had to give him an explanation. The people from the Sky Sect were infuriated. Especially the people from the Tianxue Pavilion. The Tianxue Pavilion was backed by Tianxue Old Zhang. It was built by a group of top geniuses, including Sheng Tiankong. At the moment, these people were rushing to the True Path Sect. Lin Xian, come out and accept your death. Kneel down and kowtow. Angry roars and shouts could be heard. The people from the True Path Sect were also in an uproar when they heard about this. How dare Lin Xian be so arrogant? The people from the Dragon Palace sneered. On the Divine Union's side, the dark red Divine Dragon, Fu Hongye, and the others frowned when they heard the news. However, they weren't afraid because they had already made preparations. Bai Susu also walked over and said, "Let's go and meet them." The people from the Divine Union walked out. When the people from the True Path Sect saw this, countless people followed. They wanted to see how this matter would develop. Bai Susu walked out and shouted coldly, "What? How dare the Sky Sect be so arrogant to come to the True Path Sect and behave so atrociously? Do you think that the True Path Sect has no one? Where's Lin Xian? Tell him to come out and accept his death. He dared to kill Sheng Tiankong. He's dead meat. No one can save him." Bai Susu sneered. She asked, "You said that Lin Xian killed Sheng Tiankong? Then let me ask you, did the two of them fight one-on-one? At that time, the elites from the Sky Sect didn't bully him with their numbers, right?" The people from the Sky Sect snorted. How could that be? Of course it was a one-on-one battle. Bai Susu smiled. A one-on-one battle? Then what right do you have to come here? When 2 top geniuses fought, if one side fell, it would be because their skills were inferior. But don't you find it embarrassing to come here? It wasn't as if an elder had killed him. This could only mean that Lin Xian was strong and Sheng Tiankong was an ant. Could it be that you want to touch the geniuses of the True Path Sect? Ask the elders of the Tao-seeking sect if they agree. The people around them were also in an uproar. How could this be? Lin Xian had actually killed Sheng Tiankong one-on-one? They were all stunned. At first, they had thought that Lin Xian would join forces with the people from the Divine Union. Now, it seemed like that wasn't the case. If that was the case, things would be different. Some people from the True Path Sect snorted. The Sky Sect was just so. Sheng Tiankong was on the Xian roll, but he couldn't even beat Lin Xian. The Sky Sect must be on the decline. Damn it. The people from the Sky Sect gritted their teeth. They knew that they wouldn't get anything today. Thus, they gritted their teeth and said, "Just you wait. The Sky Sect won't let this matter rest." Bai Susu and the others also returned. She hurried to the core area to contact her father. She was afraid that the elders of the Sky Sect would secretly make a move. On the other side, the Nalan family also announced that they were willing to exchange 3 realm cores for Nalan Yenran. In an instant, countless people cried out in alarm as they searched for Lin Xian. After Lin Xian had killed Sheng Tiankong and suppressed Nalan Yenran, he seemed to have disappeared. In the Moon Spirit Valley, there was a small black vortex inside. Within the vortex was an independent space where 2 figures stood. One of them was Lin Xian. No one expected that he hadn't left at all. He was still in the Moon Spirit Valley. This space had been opened by the Void Beast. The person standing opposite him was Nalan Yenran. Nalan Yenran's face was extremely pale. Chapter 4851. Lin Xian smiled. "I just received news that your grandfather is willing to exchange 3 world cores with you." Hearing this, Nalan Yenran heaved a sigh of relief. "Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and exchange." She didn't want to stay by Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian sneered. "How could it be so simple? Do you think I'm so easy to bully? First, you were grateful, then you betrayed me. If I was weaker, I probably wouldn't have gotten anything. 3 realm cores won't be enough to appease my fury. I'll make you pay back 10 times. Nalan Yenran's body trembled, and despair appeared in her eyes. 10 times? 0 world cores? How could her grandfather take that out? What else did she want to say? However, Lin Xian used the heaven-devouring jar to seal her, and then left the Moon Spirit Valley. Soon, Lin Xian appeared in front of the Sacred Abyss Tower. The news spread out in an instant, and countless people gathered. The people of Nalan Yenran's faction also hurried over. Nalan Yenran's father shouted angrily, "Kid, where's Yenran? If you dare to hurt her, I'll destroy your soul." Lin Xian sneered. "Where's the thing?" Nalan Yenran's father, Nalan K, said coldly, "The 3 world cores are with me. Let Yenran out first or you can forget about getting it." Lin Xian laughed. 3 world cores? Not enough. How did you treat me before? I'll make you pay back 10 times. Hearing this, the surrounding people's faces changed. Nalan K's pupils shrank. Pay back 10 times? Is this kid crazy? Are you trying to take advantage of me? His eyes were filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were also filled with killing intent. Lin Xian sneered. Can't take it out? Since you can't take it out, why did you have to be so black-hearted? If you were a little kinder to me, today's situation wouldn't have happened. Of course, I can give you another chance. If you can't take out 10 times the world cores, then give me 3 world cores. At the same time, Nalan Yenran, you and that 5th elder all have to kowtow and apologize to me. Moreover, it was done in front of the entire world. Was Lin Xian a pushover? What kind of joke was this? How many terrifying existences had he battled along the way? Today, if the Nalan family didn't pay a painful price, his anger wouldn't be appeased. Brat, do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. Nalan Quechan stepped out and roared towards the sky. Whether it was the first condition or the second condition, he could not agree to either. Lin Xian said, "But you want to fight? Sure, a battle of life and death. We signed a life and death contract." Nalan K gritted his teeth and prepared to fight to the death. To be honest, he couldn't figure out where the other party's confidence came from. Could it be that he was even more powerful than the 6 Paths cultivator? You don't dare? Lin Xian sneered. You're also an ant. Go back and tell the 5th elder to kneel down and kowtow to me in apology. Damn it. Nalan K was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. The people of the Nalan family were also roaring. However, no one dared to act rashly in this place. This brat was too cunning. They were incomparably depressed. They were already close to the Holy Abyss Tower. If they acted here, They would be challenging the Holy Abyss Tower and would be killed by the divine generals. However, they didn't leave. They couldn't let this brat escape again. There were other onlookers in the Holy Abyss ancient city. They were all discussing. This was the first time they saw such an arrogant and bold young man. At this moment, the sound of killing shook the sky in the distance. It was as if thousands of thunderbolts had descended. Lin Xian died. The people nearby exclaimed. The people of the heavenly sect were here. This was going to be a good show. The heavenly sect was an existence even more terrifying than the Nalan family. They were one of the three great orthodoxies. The top genius of the heavenly sect, Sheng Tian, had died in the hands of Lin Xian. They would definitely not let this go. Brat, let's see how you're going to die. The people of the Nalan family gritted their teeth and sneered. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He didn't care at all. So what if you're from the heavenly sect? The people of the heavenly sect in front of him were filled with killing intent. They shouted coldly, "Little Zhang, get over here and die." Lin Xian sneered. Can't the heavenly sect afford to lose? I'll fight Sheng Tian one-on-one. It's a fair fight. My cultivation is one realm lower than his. I killed him with my own strength. What's wrong with that? Those of the younger generation of the heavenly sect who have the strength to kill me, come out. If I die in battle, I won't complain. Who dares to fight with me? Lin Xian took a step forward. His voice was like thunder, shaking the surroundings. A terrifying sword intent rushed out of his body. His finger was like a sword light, pointing forward. Dare? The people of the Sky sect were stunned and stood there in a daze. Dare they? They knew the strength of Sheng Tian. He was an expert on the profound ranking, the personal disciple of an elder, and had many trump cards. He even had the bloodline of the heavenly sect. Even so, he still died. Could they be a match for him? Although the person in front of them was arrogant, his strength was equally terrifying. You're really arrogant. You killed my junior brother. You can't escape death today. A cold voice sounded in the distance. But in an instant, a figure appeared in front of everyone. Countless people looked over and were shocked. It was actually him. The people of the heavenly sect also smiled. Senior brother Yichen, that's great. The people of the Tianshui pavilion of the heavenly sect walked up. Senior brother Yichen, please suppress that kid. Yes, he's too arrogant. The person who came was called Yichen. He was also a genius of the heavenly sect and a personal disciple of Elder Tianshui. Moreover, he was the senior brother of Sheng Tian. He was even stronger than Sheng Tian. After he arrived, he stared coldly at Lin Xian. Come on, kid. Unless you stay under the Holy Gulf Tower for the rest of your life, you can't escape death. Lin Xian sneered. You're the senior brother of Sheng Tian. Are you going to stand up for him? Well then, do you dare to have a life and death battle? Why wouldn't I dare? Yichen took a step forward. He also exuded an extremely terrifying killing intent. In a life and death battle, life and death were up to fate. It was best to kill him on the battlefield. The surrounding people exclaimed. It was unbelievable that the two sides were going to have a life and death battle. People like Yichen were rare geniuses. If one of them died, the loss would be unimaginable. Under normal circumstances, they would definitely not have a life and death battle, but now they had agreed. Okay, in 3 days, you and I will have a life and death battle. Lin Xian's sonorous voice spread in all directions. Yichen was not afraid. As you wish, I will personally avenge junior brother Sheng Tian. The news quickly spread. Countless people were in an uproar. Let's go and take a look. This kind of battle was incomparably shocking. Firstly, they wanted to see who the legendary arrogant Lin Xian was. Secondly, they had come because of his reputation. Yichen was more famous than Sheng Tian. He hadn't fought for many years. Now, what level had his strength reached? Chapter 4852. The news quickly spread to the Dao sect. The people in the Dao sect were also shocked and went to watch the battle. Lin Xian was now a famous person. The dark red divine dragon and the others in the divine union also received Lin Xian's message. Bai Susu went to the core area to invite her father. The Levitation Saint came to witness the battle. The Levitation Saint was also emotional. He had just met Lin Xian and had not expected this little guy to cause such a stir. To be honest, he was shocked. Both the Nayland family and the Sky Sect were huge forces. Lin Xian was not afraid at all. This courage was very rare. He naturally would not refuse, so he immediately went to the sacred Gulf Tower. The Sky Sect also received the news. Countless people were shocked. When Leaf Doudenier heard this, he was just as surprised as Yang Qi. Smiling, he shook his head and prepared to watch the fight. On a mountain peak, under an ancient pine tree, there was a chessboard. Two old men were playing chess. One of them had brown hair and was wearing white robes. It was Elder Tianshui. Opposite him was Nayland Yenron's grandfather, the fifth elder. The fifth elder asked, "Brother Tianshui, are you really not going to do anything?" Elder Tianshui shook his head. "Although I am very angry, he is still a young junior. If I attack him directly, wouldn't I become the laughingstock of the world? However, don't worry, I won't let him off. I have already sent my other personal disciple, Ichen. He is the senior brother of the Sacred Sky Sect and is even stronger. He will be able to resolve everything." Indeed, before long, the immortal crane flew over and took human form. It knelt on one knee in the void and reported to its master that young Master Ichen had sent news. In 3 days he and Lin Xian would have a battle to the death. Elder Tianshui sneered. He waved his sleeve and the immortal crane retreated. He looked at the fifth elder and said, "There was no doubt that Lin Xian would die in a battle of life and death." It was obvious that he had great confidence in Ichen. The fifth elder also heaved a sigh of relief. With young Master Ichen taking action, there would be no problem. Taoist Tianshui, why don't we watch it together and be witnesses? A cold murderous intent appeared in Elder Tianshui's eyes. Even though Sheng Tian had just joined him not too long ago, he was still his disciple. Killing his disciple was equivalent to slapping his face. He also wanted to see how capable this Lin Xian was. How dare he be so arrogant? In 3 days, the news spread everywhere. Countless people rushed over. The people from the Dao Sect's Dragon Palace sneered and came to watch. Lan Zhu and other members of the Blue Clan also looked ferocious. They also had a grudge against Lin Sun, so they wanted to see him die with their own eyes. Needless to say, the people from the Sky Sect and the Tianshui Pavilion were also present. The Nayland family had also come. Even Nayland Liang, the eighth elder, and the others were watching anxiously. Was there really no problem? On the other side, the members of the Dugu clan were also shocked when they received the news. Lin Xian was their benefactor. Dugu Shao Yi, Old Man Dugu, and the others all rushed over. They wanted to see it with their own eyes. If Lin Xian was really in danger, their clan would definitely help. On the other side, the Fire Dragon clan and the Fire Dragon lady also came. Qin Feng, Bai Li Fei, and the others all rushed over. In an instant, the winds and clouds gathered. Bai Susu, the Crimson Divine Dragon, Fu Hongye, and the others also came. The Levitation Saint came to Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian stood up and cupped his fists. "Greetings, Senior. Sorry for disturbing you this time." The Levitation Saint said. "It's fine. This is nothing. But are you really confident?" Lin Xian smiled. "If Sheng Tian's master was here, he might be able to threaten me. But he's just a senior brother. I don't care about him." The Levitation Saint was also shocked. He had heard of Yi Chen's reputation. He was a terrifying young genius. Was Lin Xian too careless? However, he had also heard of some other legends about Lin Xian. Lin Xian could kill Sheng Tian, so he was definitely not weak. In the ancient city, there was a primordial battlefield that specialized in life and death battles. The Levitation Saint brought Lin Xian to the primordial battlefield. The others also followed. Countless people had already gathered around the primordial battlefield. Ichen stood with his hands behind his back. He looked calm and didn't care about this life and death battle at all. Beside him, the people from Tianshui Pavilion and Nayland family sneered. They couldn't wait to witness this battle. Not only that, Elder Tianshui and the fifth elder also came. They sat high up in the clouds. On the other side, the 8th elder and the others frowned. Young Master Lin isn't here yet? At this moment, someone exclaimed. They're here. Countless people looked over and saw two figures walking in the air. It was the Levitation Saint and Lin Xian. After the Levitation Saint arrived, he said loudly, Today, I'm Lin Xian's witness. This is a life and death battle between Yi Chen and Lin Xian. No one else is allowed to interfere. If anyone secretly tries to kill Lin Xian, don't blame the Dao sect for being impolite. Countless people gasped. Some people already knew that Lin Xian was from the immortal graveyard and had no future. But for now, he was still a dazzling genius. The Dao sect would definitely protect such a person. All right, little guy, go ahead. The Levitation Saint stood high up in the sky. Lin Xian's figure flashed and landed on the primordial battlefield below. He looked at Yi Chen and said, Come. You can't wait to throw away your life, can you? Yi Chen opened his eyes. There was a terrifying blue light in his eyes. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Yi Chen's body was surrounded by blue laws, forming terrifying seawater that tore through the void. The people in the distance exclaimed, Heavenly Spirit, holy water. Heavens, he actually cultivated such a peerless superpower to such a level? Even those older generation figures were sighing. This Yi Chen was truly incredible. Prepare to die. Yi Chen waved his hand. The Heavenly Spirit holy water turned into a huge blue sword and slashed down. I'll kill you in one move. The Heavenly Spirit holy sword slashed down mercilessly. That kid is dead for sure. The people from Tianshui Pavilion sneered. The people from the Nailin family were also excited. The people from the Blue family and Dragon Palace also widened their eyes. You want to fight me with mere seawater? Lin Xian didn't make a move. He roared at the sky. Golden flames suddenly rose from his body and swept in all directions. In an instant, the world turned into a golden ocean. It was as if thousands of suns had appeared at the same time. The light turned into golden crows and swept in all directions. The moment the holy water fell into the sea of flames, it instantly evaporated, turning into white mist that drifted in all directions. Is this your strength? How pitiful! If you only have this level of strength, I'm afraid you can't even break through my defense. Chapter 48-53. Countless people were shocked when they saw this. The Heavenly Spirit Holy Sword had been broken, and Lin Xian had done it without even making a move. He had done it with his aura alone. Heavens, what kind of physique is that? It's too terrifying. Yi Chen's face was full of shock. This was completely different from what he had imagined. Before he could come back to his senses, endless flames gathered on Lin Xian's body, forming a flaming sword that slashed down from the sky. You have a taste of my swordsmanship. 9 suns opened the sky. The sword slashed down, splitting heaven and earth. How could it be so powerful? Yi Chen's face became extremely pale, and the seawater around him kept evaporating. Damn it! I can't block it! His body abruptly retreated to the side, and it seemed that he had dodged the sword. However, he was already in an extremely sorry state, and his hair was charred black. On the other side, Lin Xian held the divine sword in his hand, looking like a peerless sword god with unparalleled divine might. With this comparison, it was obvious who was superior. The surrounding people were stunned. They had originally thought that it would be a fierce battle, and at least Lin Xian would be greatly suppressed. However, it seemed that the situation was completely different. Damn it, how could this kid be so powerful? Could it be that he was more powerful than the 6 Paths itinerant cultivator? The 5th elder was dumbfounded. Elder Tianshui's face also darkened. Don't be careless. Yes, master. Yi Chen turned his head and nodded solemnly. Then he looked at Lin Xian. I admit that I underestimated you. Next, I will use all of my strength. Prepare to go to hell. Heavenly Water Sword. He formed a blue divine sword again and held it in his hand. At the same time, a heavenly water armor appeared on his body. He looked like the god of the sea who had been resurrected. Heavenly Water Infinite. The entire battlefield was enveloped by the blue laws and turned into monstrous water. Other than where Lin Xian was, There were rumbling sounds everywhere. Lin Xian was like a god of war, blocking all the attacks. The flaming divine sword in his hand attacked again. The entire sea was rolling, and a vacuum appeared. Nothing could stop Lin Xian. Yichen retreated again, bleeding. Her face was pale. Impossible, what kind of flame was this? Or you? He roared crazily. Even Elder Tianshui in the sky stood up. His physique, could it be? He was too shocked. This was because this scene was very similar to a legendary starry sky divine body. The others were also in an uproar. Even the feather saint was stunned. His eyes were emitting cold radiance. Could it be the 9-yang divine physique? His voice caused countless people to be shocked and their scalps to go numb. 9-yang divine body. Had the legendary starry sky divine body reappeared in the human world? This Lin Xian actually has the 9-yang divine body. No wonder he was so powerful. No wonder he was not afraid of the Skywater Saint's sword. How could he have such a physique? Elder Tianshui's face turned pale. The heavenly water laws that he cultivated were most afraid of flames of extreme yang. However, those kinds of flames were extremely rare and difficult to encounter. Therefore, in his opinion, Yichen was not afraid of anything. However, he did not expect Lin Xian to have one of those extreme yang flames. The 9-yang divine fire could burn the heavens and destroy the earth. This time, Yichen met his nemesis. Stop, Yichen has lost this battle. Elder Tianshui said loudly. Countless people were in an uproar. It had not even started, but it was already over? The faces of the Nailin family members turned ashen. Below, Yichen's pupils constricted. He said, Master, I haven't lost yet. Please let me fight. As a top genius, how could he be willing to admit defeat in front of everyone? Master, have you forgotten that I still have another ultimate skill? Disciple, are you going to use that ultimate technique? No, it's too dangerous. Didn't you promise me that you won't cultivate anymore? Elder Tianshui seemed to have thought of something, and his pupils constricted. Destiny is like this. Even if I don't cultivate, it will still exist in my body. Yichen turned around. The heavenly water laws on his body disappeared and were replaced by an even more terrifying aura. It was abnormally terrifying. In the distance, the toad saw this scene and frowned. What a powerful poison. Could it be that he was a poison cultivator? The expressions of the surrounding people also changed, and they all retreated. Yichen was handsome like an immortal before, but now he was eerie and terrifying, like a demon king from hell. His handsome face began to rot, and his eyes became incomparably ashen. His fingers also grew sharp fingernails, and with a light wave, the world shattered. Elder Tianshui sighed and closed his eyes. The fifth elder and the others were shocked. What was going on? Elder Tianshui said that Yichen had won this battle. From now on, there would be no Lin Xian in the world. Countless people were shocked. Lin Xian had the 9-yang divine body. He had previously displayed a powerful aura and defeated Yichen in a few moves. Now, Elder Tianshui actually said such words. What was he relying on? Was it the strange scene in front of him? Above the 9 heavens, the levitation saint also frowned when he saw this scene. He said in surprise, Could it be that you have the Poison King's body? That's right. Yichen smiled sinisterly. The Poison King's body was made of 5 poisons fused into one. No one could withstand it. Kid, this is my biggest secret. I might not have revealed it in my entire life. But in order to kill you, I have revealed my greatest trump card. From now on, I am the Poison King, and you will fall into hell forever. The Poison King's body was very terrifying. It was not born, but condensed and formed. There were many strange beasts in this world. Some were powerful, some had strange magical powers, and some were extremely poisonous. The toad whispered to the dark red divine dragon and the others. The Poison King's body was the fusion of 5 extremely powerful poisons. Its power was extremely terrifying. Even the great sage would have to suffer if he encountered it. This Poison King's body was hard to come by in thousands of years because no one could withstand the fusion of 5 poisons. Only 1 in a billion could survive. They did not expect Yichen to have such a trump card. It seemed that things were not going to be easy. The dark red divine dragon, Red Leaf, and the others frowned. The Poison King's body? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. This was interesting. This was interesting. You were too weak before, so I hope you won't disappoint me now. As he spoke, he stomped his foot and appeared in front of Yi Chen in an instant. He punched out. Buzz. Yi Chen's figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already behind the left side. He stood there, the poison on his body dripping continuously. Deep pits appeared on the primordial battlefield one after another. Countless people were horrified. It was too terrifying. How did he dodge it at such a fast speed? In that instant, no one could keep up. It seemed that after becoming the Poison King's corpse, not only did he become stronger, but he also became stronger in all aspects. Chapter 4854. Useless Brat. Although you have the divine nine-yang body, you haven't reached the great accomplishment stage yet. As for my Poison King body, even a saint would retreat when facing it, let alone you. Now you can go to hell. Hand of 10,000 poisons. Then, Yi Chen waved his hand and turned into a heavenly spider to attack. Lin Xian struck out with his golden hand and blocked the spider's arm. At the same time, he frowned as he realized that his flames were being corroded. Clang. A low sound rang out. The poison passed through the flames and reached his body, making an earth-shattering sound. The divine nine-yang body tried its best to resist, but the runes on it dimmed. How terrifying! Su Chen waved his arm and forced his opponent to retreat. However, his opponent continued to attack. The spider's arm, the scorpion's tail, and the snake's venomous fangs. The centipede's body. The toad's skin. Every part of his opponent's body was highly toxic. Even the great sage would die if he took over. Therefore, his opponent didn't dodge at all. He charged straight at him. Brat, what are you going to use to fight me? Yi Chen sneered. He suppressed Lin Xian. That's great. The people of Tianshui Pavilion cheered. The people of the Nayland family heaved a sigh of relief. There shouldn't be any accidents this time, right? Lin Xian was beaten until his body swayed. He retreated to the edge of the battlefield. A cold light appeared in his eyes. You have the strength. You can actually pressure me. You deserve my full strength. Hearing this, the surrounding people went crazy. Lin Xian hasn't used his full strength yet? Are you kidding me? His divine nine-yang body is already being suppressed. Does he have an even stronger trump card? But how is that possible? The divine body is already amazing. What else could be more amazing? Yi Chen also laughed. Brat, don't deceive yourself. Even with the strongest physique, you can't beat me. What do you have to fight me? How can an ant know the vastness of the world? Lin Xian snorted. Next, I'll show you what it means to be stronger. Sharp killing intent burst out from his eyes, turning into lightning as he charged over. The divine nine-yang body is even more terrifying. It was useless. 10,000 poisons descended. Yi Chen sneered. She moved her body, and the law of poison turned into a black fog that enveloped everything. It was enough to poison any great sage to death. Lin Xian was instantly enveloped. Not good. Bai Su and the others immediately tensed up. The battle was over. Elder Tianshui stood up and prepared to leave. However, in the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The black fog was torn apart, and Lin Xian's fist turned into a ray of light. It was as if 6 worlds had appeared between heaven and earth. With a boom, Yi Chen was sent flying, her body shattered. Her already rotten body became even more terrifying. How could this be? Elder Tianshui turned around abruptly in disbelief. Could the other party withstand the 5 poisons body? Damn it, what kind of power is this? Yi Chen's face was ugly as his broken body slowly healed. His eyes were fixed on Lin Xian. It was obvious that this punch was much more powerful than the previous ones. Lin Xian strode over and snorted coldly. I've said it before. You're worthy of my full strength. He waved the 6-path fist again, and the entire world shook. Damn it, how dare you underestimate me? Yi Chen was also angry. Since he had already used the Poison King's body, how could he stop? With a raise of his hand, he could kill all things with poison. However, Lin Xian's six-path fist combined with the divine nine-yang body was really too powerful. He could sweep through the 9 heavens. One punch, godly. At this moment, countless people's eyes lost their light. They only saw a fist that turned into 6 worlds descending from the sky. What kind of fist technique was this? There was a boom. With a scream, I Chen was sent flying. His body turned into a bloody mist, and only his head was still intact. However, he roared crazily. Impossible, I won't lose. Everyone went crazy. Even the Poison King's body couldn't block Lin Xian's punch? Did he still have any tricks up his sleeve? If not, I'll send you on your way. Lin Xian's body was filled with poison that kept dripping. However, the poison couldn't enter his body at all. I Chen's body condensed again, and his glabella suddenly split open. A blue treasure box flew out, and 3 drops of blue water fell from it. Each drop could crush the heavens. There were many people watching the battle, and the weaker ones turned into a bloody mist. There were also some people who directly retreated. The entire ancient battlefield began to tremble vigorously. What kind of trump card was this? Heavenly water, great technique. There was heavenly spirit divine water inside. Damn it. Why did I Chen have so many trump cards? Some people sighed. There was no other way. He was the personal disciple of an elder, so how could the trump cards in his hands be weak? Each of them could sweep through the world, but Lin Xian was even more terrifying. They didn't know how he would block the heavenly spirit divine water this time. The heavenly spirit divine water was like 3 mountains that surrounded I Chen's body. Boy, no matter how strong you are, you can't break through the divine water. Without your power, how can you contend with me? The reason why he was injured was because he fought in close combat with his opponent. Now, he had to distance himself. Not good, Lin Xian's advantage was suppressed. Bai Susu's face was pale. Lin Xian sneered. Who told you that I only had close combat? He didn't step forward, but his eyes bloomed with a mysterious golden light. I Chen's body was like a ghost, drifting erratically. The heavenly spirit divine water of the 3 lands was still surrounding him. As for him, he shot out poison that filled the sky. Everywhere it passed, it turned into a poison domain. It enveloped Lin Xian. No matter how many tricks you have, I'll destroy them with a glance. Lin Xian's voice became ethereal as if it came from another world. At the same time, the golden light in his eyes suddenly turned into flames and flew forward. They were like 2 golden dragons dancing between heaven and earth. The black poisonous fog was instantly torn apart. At this moment, everyone was stunned. What was this? What a terrifying technique. Damn it, this was the power of reincarnation. It was the light of reincarnation. Lin Xian's gaze turned into the light of reincarnation and pierced through heaven and earth. The poison was torn apart in an instant. The heavenly spirit divine water also lost its defensive effect in an instant. The smile on I Chen's face froze. He retreated as if he had been struck by lightning. He let out a miserable roar that made one's scalp go numb. There was poison dripping from his body, but nothing could stop it. The light of reincarnation directly killed his soul. I can't accept this. He let out a final cry, but he fell on the battlefield. When he died, his eyes were wide open. He didn't expect that he would die under his opponent's gaze after blocking his opponent's close combat power. Was he dead? Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. The people of Tianshui Pavilion and the Nalan family were dumbfounded. Elder Tianshui was also stunned. He had used the heavenly spirit divine water and the body of the Poison King, but he was still killed? How was that possible? Who was his opponent? How did he have so many powerful trump cards? Chapter 4855. I Chen's death shocked countless people. The 5th elder went crazy in disbelief. Elder Tianshui's expression was ferocious and murderous. Who exactly are you? He shouted coldly. It was hard for him to imagine that a young man who had just joined the True Path sect could be so powerful. The others looked over as well. Lin Xian laughed. I am Lin Xian of the True Path sect. In the future, you can call me Lin Wudi. What an arrogant title. How dare you call yourself invincible? Countless people were shocked. Yichen was already dead. Who would still stand up for the Nalan family? Lin Xian pointed his sword in all directions. The Nalan family members went crazy. They were terrified. Being targeted by such a terrifying genius would be very dangerous in the future. Kill him. I must kill him. The fifth elder's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He was about to attack. This person was the most terrifying genius he had ever seen. If he was still alive, they would be in danger. The fifth elder looked at Elder Tianshui and said, "Brother, I'm sorry." Elder Tianshui's expression was cold. His gaze could tear the 9 heavens apart. He sneered. Lin Wudi. What an arrogant name. I am an elder of the Sky Sect. I don't want to attack you, but you killed 2 of my personal disciples. This is unbearable. Take this. And this. I won't attack you again, dead or alive. Before he finished his sentence, Elder Tianshui attacked with his palm. Between heaven and earth, the blue light condensed into a large palm, covering the sky and covering the earth as it rushed over. In an instant, it enveloped Lin Xian. The surrounding people went crazy. They did not expect Elder Tianshui to attack. In the sky, the levitation saint's eyes narrowed. How dare you? He slashed with his sword, but it was too late. Lin Xian was enveloped by the blue palm. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The void shattered and turned into nothingness. Oh no, that kid is dead. That was for sure. Elder Tianshui was a powerful being in the middle stage of the Great Sage realm. He was 100 times stronger than Yichen. How can he survive this attack? Is he dead? That's great. The father of the Nalan family laughed complacently. The fifth elder and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Now that the Nalan clan's peerless enemy had been eliminated, they could finally be at ease. Damn it. The eyes of the Crimson Divine Dragon and the others instantly turned red. Fu Hongye and the others also cried out in surprise. Young martial uncle. Lin Xian was strong, but at the moment he could only contend against a great sage in the early stage, and a great sage in the middle stage was much stronger than an early stage. One was in the sky while the other was in the ground. Lin Xian was struck by this palm, and it boded ill rather than well. The feather saint had a cold expression. He waved his hand and shattered the blue laws that filled the sky. However, Lin Xian's figure was nowhere to be seen. Was he really dead? The levitation saint's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Elder Tianshui. How dare you make a move on him? Are you challenging the Dao sect? When he took a step forward, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. Elder Tianshui's face also turned pale. He spat out blood and retreated. He roared, "You may be a saint, but I'm an elder. If you kill me, it will be a war between the Dao sect and the Heaven sect. Can you bear the consequences?" Damn it. The levitation saint had a cold expression. He couldn't make a move because the other party's status was different. However, he wouldn't let him off. Elder Tianshui stood up and said loudly, "He killed 2 of my disciples, so it's not wrong for me to strike him once. Moreover, I've said that after this palm strike, regardless of life or death, I won't make a move again. Damn it." Bai Susu gritted her teeth while the Crimson Divine Dragon roared and wanted to fight with his life. However, they were all stopped by the levitation saint. If they were to fight now, they wouldn't know. What Lin Wudi? He's too arrogant. Nalan Yenron's father sneered. How dare a young man call himself invincible? The fifth elder snorted coldly. What an arrogant fool. Even the Thearcha's son didn't dare to use the invincible title, let alone him? They all laughed proudly and were in a good mood. Old man, are you done laughing? At this moment, a cold voice was heard from the shattered void. The fifth elder, Nalan K, and the others stopped talking instantly. It was as if the Grim Reaper had grabbed their necks and they were horrified. Who was it? Who was playing tricks? They roared crazily. The others were shocked too. Elder Tianshui turned his head abruptly and stared at the shattered void. He had wanted to leave, but he realized that something was wrong. Was it Lin Xian? Bai Susu was shocked too. The levitation saint's eyes were glowing with a sharp light. The others widened their eyes. Could it be that the kid wasn't dead? What a joke! That was an attack from Elder Tianshui. How could a sage ruler block it? Even if he had the 9-yang divine body, it wouldn't work. From the shattered void, a figure walked out slowly. Lin Xian's face was pale and his body was stained with blood. It was obvious that he was severely injured by the previous attack. However, he had many trump cards and used the Great Sage Pagoda to block the attack. Although he was injured, it wasn't fatal. However, this had infuriated him completely. It was really him. He wasn't dead. Everyone was shocked. Bai Su, the dark red divine dragon, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. That was great. They were relieved that Lin Xian wasn't dead. How could it be? How could he still be alive? The fifth elder looked as if he had seen a ghost. Elder Tianshui's eyes narrowed. How did you do it? Did the levitation saint help him secretly? However, that attack was too sudden and the levitation saint couldn't react in time. Old man, you are despicable. Lin Xian stared at Elder Tianshui. It was a life and death battle. Your disciple was weaker and deserved to be killed. However, you are despicable and attacked me secretly. Where is your honor as an elder? Is everyone in the Sky sect so despicable and shameless? Damn it. Elder Tianshui's killing intent gathered. The levitation saint appeared on the battlefield below. He came to Lin Xian's side and stared at him. Try attacking me again. I can guarantee that I will destroy you instantly. He was furious. This time, he would definitely protect Lin Xian. Damn it. With the levitation saint around, he couldn't attack anymore. It seemed like he had to find a chance to kill Lin Xian secretly. He was prepared to leave now. I said that after this attack, you can live or die. I won't attack again. As he spoke, he turned to leave. You want to leave? Lin Xian snorted. Elder Tianshui turned around and sneered. Do you want to attack me? Lin Xian gritted his teeth and his eyes shone with a cold light. He said that he would use his head to pay for this attack. Everyone was shocked. This guy wanted to kill Elder Tianshui? This was simply impossible. Elder Tianshui was also cold. Then he left. Cultivate for another 1,000 years. He didn't care about Lin Xian's killing intent. He had to guard against the levitation saint. However, he was an elder after all. His status was different from the young disciples. Chapter 4856. The levitation saint also said, "This matter isn't over yet. I'll get the Heaven sect to give us a satisfactory explanation." These words were directed at Elder Tianshui. Although you're an elder of the Heaven sect and have a high status, the Heaven sect still has its rules. You took advantage of your seniority and attacked a disciple of the Heaven sect. The Heaven sect won't let you off. The levitation saint's voice was sonorous. Elder Tianshui's pupils shrank. His face was cold as he waved his sleeves and left quickly. The levitation saint looked at Lin Xian and injected some energy into him to help him recover. At the same time, he took out a bottle of elixir. This was a healing elixir. Lin Xian took it and thanked the senior. The levitation saint said, "Don't worry, I won't let him off easily. After I send you back, I'll head to the Heaven sect immediately." Lin Xian nodded and didn't say anything. The Heaven sect could punish the other party, but Lin Xian knew that it wasn't enough. He said that he would use the other party's head to pay for today's palm. He wasn't just saying that for fun. Today, Lin Wudi's title had spread. However, he had another title, the Mad God. He had some trump cards that he hadn't used yet. Lin Wudi didn't know how to use them, but after becoming the Mad God, Lin Xian wouldn't hold back. After dealing with the Nayland family, it would be Elder Tianshui's death. Lin Xian retracted his gaze and looked at the fifth elder. Now that the Heaven sect is gone, who will stand up for you? If you want Nayland Yenron's life, hand over 30 world cores. Or, kneel down in front of the world and kowtow to admit your mistake. Lin Xian's voice caused the surrounding people to exclaim. They thought that this matter was about to end, but it was just the beginning. Countless gazes landed on the Nayland family, especially the fifth elder. The fifth elder's face turned ugly. Even Elder Tianshui couldn't do anything to the other party. Could he? If it was before, he could still kill the other party. However, the levitation saint was now beside the other party. If he dared to attack, the levitation saint would kill him. "Father, what should we do?" Nalan K gritted his teeth and asked. The fifth elder took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He knew that Nalan Yenran would never come back. He didn't have 30 world cores either, so it was even more impossible for him to kneel. Staying here would be a disgrace. So he gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go." With that he turned around and left. "But what about Yenran?" Nalan asked. The fifth elder turned around, his eyes cold. "I told you to leave. Are you going to defy my orders?" Nalan K's pupils shrank. "I don't dare." He gritted his teeth. He knew that doing this meant that he had given up. Nalan Yenran. Although the other party was the #1 genius of the family, compared to making the fifth elder kneel, it seemed that he could only give up on Nalan Yenran. Go. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth and waved his hand. The people of the fifth elder's faction rose into the air and left quickly. Did he leave? Everyone was shocked. Today's scene was simply too shocking. Elder Tianshui and the rest were helpless. They did not expect the Nalan family to back down. Could it be that Lin Xian was that powerful? Lin Wudi, this name spread in their hearts for the first time. He was indeed that powerful. From afar, Green Phoenix Bailey Fei was extremely shocked when he saw this scene. Although they had guessed it, seeing it with their own eyes was still different. On the other side, Fire Dragon Lady was also shocked. Fortunately, she had given him a world core. Otherwise, if he had resisted back then, she would have ended up in a worse state than Nalan Yenran. On the other side, the old man of the Dugu family heaved a sigh of relief. He said, "Xiaoyi, after this matter is over, go and give young Master Lin a healing elixir." "Yes, Grandpa, I understand." Dugu Xiaoyi nodded. Everyone thought that this matter was over, but Lin Xian did not think so. Would it be over just because he had given up on Nalan Yenran? Would he have suffered that palm strike for nothing? What kind of joke was this? He would let everyone know that he, Lin Xian, was not to be challenged. He would let the people of Holy Abyss Ancient City know the consequences of being ungrateful. "Little guy, let me send you back." The levitation saint waved his hand and brought Lin Xian back. Bai Su Su, the dark divine dragon, and the others also returned. The others also left. At the same time, the news spread. In an instant, countless people were in an uproar. The people of the remote antiquity families, the great sects, and the 3 great orthodoxies were all stunned. Lin Xian was actually so valiant, forcefully killing Yichin. He had withstood Elder Tianshui's palm strike and not died. He had even scared away the elders of the Nalan family. Every single one of them was astounding. Moreover, the other party had even dared to arrogantly call himself Lin Wudi. In an instant, this news spread all over the place. When the people of the Dragon Palace found out, they gritted their teeth. Damn it! Why didn't he die there? Lan Ziyu and the others' eyes turned red. It seemed like they would have to come up with an even more terrifying lineup and strength to deal with the other party in the future. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others returned to the spiritual abode. The people of the Divine Union also heaved a sigh of relief. "Boss Lin, this is great. Young Master Lin, you are like a god." The people of the Divine Union congratulated him. They had also seen the thrilling battle previously. If they followed such a person, they would definitely be able to rise in the future. "All right, let's all cultivate. After joining the Divine Union, I will bring you to the top of the world." Lin Xian smiled at the crowd. Then he said, "I'm going to cultivate in seclusion." Lin Xian went to cultivate in seclusion in the hall. During this time, Dugu Xiaoyi also came, and so did the Fire Dragon Girl. They both brought healing holy medicines. However, they did not see Lin Xian. Lin Xian brought endless treasures with him to recover quickly and entered the sword world. He also took 2 stalks of the spiritual medicine that he had planted in the 4 Spirit Valley to recover. His body glowed with multicolored light as his injuries slowly healed. On the other side, the Nalan family was also in an uproar. They had all heard about what had happened to the 5th elder. Many of them had even seen it with their own eyes. They had not expected that their family would be suppressed by a young man and become a joke. The Nalan family head was furious as he reprimanded the fifth elder sternly. He also warned the fifth elder and the others not to go out again lest they embarrass the family. Damn it! Nalan K roared. The family actually doesn't care about us anymore. The fifth elder's face was also cold. Forget it, we have lost this time. We will cultivate in seclusion and break through. When the time comes, we will return the torture we suffered today 100-fold. Also, keep an eye on that kid. If he goes out on a mission, inform me immediately. I will definitely make sure he doesn't return. Clearly, the fifth elder also had the intention to kill. He was prepared to do it himself. On the other side, the levitation saint had arrived at the Sky Sect and questioned the Sky Sect's rules. This matter had already spread. Everyone had seen Elder Tianxue make a move on a young junior. This had already broken the rules set by the three great orthodoxies. The older generation was not allowed to make a move on the younger generation. Chapter 4857. On the Sky Sect's side, a sage elder walked over and said, "Brother Ascension Transformation, Tianxue has indeed broken the rules. The Sky Sect will punish him. He will be punished by the sin of burning the heavens for a month. He will be struck by lightning for a month. He will not be able to step out of the Sky Sect for 50 years. Are you satisfied with this?" The Ascension Saint could only nod when he heard this. The sin of burning the heavens was to be burned by the fire of burning the heavens for a month. After that, he would be struck by lightning for a month. Even though Elder Tianxue was in the Great Sage intermediate stage, he would still be severely injured after these two punishments. The Ascension Saint said, "I don't wish to see something like this happen again." Of course. The Sky Sect elder nodded. The next step was the execution. Elder Tianxue was brought along with the sealing chains and thrown into Burning Sky Valley to be refined and burned by the flames that filled the sky. His hair was disheveled as he roared at the sky. His body was charred black. Many parts of his body were broken and fresh blood flowed. "Lin Xian, I won't let you off." Elder Tianxue gritted his teeth like an injured beast. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He would assassinate Lin Xian after he left. The news of Elder Tianxue's punishment spread once again. In an instant, countless people were shocked. At the same time, the young disciples heaved a sigh of relief. If Elder Tianxue wasn't punished, the young elites would be in danger. The older generation would be able to act as they wished. Now, it seemed impossible. The older generation would definitely not act openly. However, it was hard to say if they would assassinate in the dark. Everyone guessed that Lin Xian wouldn't dare to come out for a period of time. The people from the True Path sect and the Divine Union gritted their teeth when they heard the news. "This old thing should be struck to death," Bai Susu said. This was already the best outcome they could hope for. It was impossible for them to have an elder killed by the sect rules. However, the sin of burning the heavens and the thunder of destruction would definitely make him suffer. The dark red dragon sent the news to the main hall. Lin Xian opened his eyes when he heard it. It wasn't enough to quell his anger. This was the Sky Sect's punishment, not his. He had to deal with his enemy personally. Then, Lin Xian summoned the dark red dragon and Fu Hongya. The two of them asked, "Is your injury healed?" Lin Xian said, "All right, it's about time." Although his injuries were serious, they weren't fatal. In addition, Lin Xian had a lot of natural treasures in his hands. Furthermore, the spiritual medicine cultivated in the Four Spirit Valley had helped Lin Xian recover very quickly. "Kid, what do you plan to do next? Do you want us to go to the Nalan family together and suppress the fifth elder?" "Naturally, I won't let the fifth elder's faction off. However, I'll have to do it myself." Lin Wudi was in seclusion, but Mad God was about to set off. A terrifying demonic aura emerged from Lin Xian's body. He did it himself. The dark red divine dragon asked. It was too dangerous. After all, the fifth elder was not someone to be trifled with. What's more, the Nalan family would definitely not sit idly by. "Don't worry, I have my own methods." "How are the formations and resources that I asked you to prepare?" Fu Hongya said, "Young martial uncle, we are all ready." He took out many formations. Lin Xian took a look and nodded with satisfaction. There were a lot of resources in here. Some of the forces that he was going to use next would consume a lot of resources. Therefore, these were not enough. He said, "Have you set them up near the fifth elder's residence?" The dark red divine dragon said, "We have already set them up. When they start to defend, we will have already retreated." "Good. Then I'll go." Lin Xian stood up and summoned the void beast. His figure flashed, and the two of them disappeared from the main hall. After leaving the god's residence, he did not immediately go to the fifth elder's residence. Instead, he summoned someone. "Greetings, young master." Six paths knelt on one knee with an incomparably respectful expression. "Very good, Rise." Lin Xian was wearing a black robe. His demonic aura was monstrous, as if he had turned into a demonic expert. He said to Six Paths, "Follow me to the Nalan family." The two of them turned into two streaks of lightning and disappeared into the night sky. In the Nalan family's fifth elder's residence, although it was still a bit oppressive, they were already relieved. Lin Xian was injured by a palm strike. Although he survived, he would not be able to recover in a short time. He would not be able to cause trouble for them again. However, they did not know that Lin Xian was already here. This time, not only was he looking for trouble, but he was going to pay them back 100-fold. Above the 9 heavens, Lin Xian stood there like a demon god. Six Paths beside him was incomparably respectful. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian took out the heaven-swallowing jar. He shook it lightly, and Nalan Yenran flew out. Her face was extremely pale. "How long are you going to suppress me?" Lin Xian said, "Today, I will let you see with your own eyes that your bloodline will disappear." Nalan Yenran was shocked. Then she sneered, "You? I admit that you are powerful, but it is impossible for you to destroy our bloodline. The Nalan family's strength is not something you can fight against." Previously, she had been suppressed in the heaven-swallowing jar. Therefore, she did not know anything about Lin Xian's life and death battle. Lin Xian did not argue with her. He sneered, "You will see it soon." He waved his hand and imprisoned Nalan Yenran in the sky. Then he descended. As he descended, an extremely terrifying murderous intent emerged from his body. He shouted coldly. His voice was like thunder. It rushed downwards. The sky fell and the earth cracked. Below, in the fifth elder's residence. It was very majestic and occupied countless mountains. At this moment, it was attacked by the sound. Inside, the arrays flickered and tried to resist, but they were all shattered in an instant. The arrays were torn apart. The mountains and waterfalls inside were shattered. The guards inside were also attacked by the sound. Some of them were directly turned into blood mist. All kinds of miserable cries could be heard. It made one's scalp tingle. Everyone in the residence went crazy. Was someone attacking them? Who was so bold? Damn it, did they not want to live anymore? A figure rushed out like a god of war. It was Nalan Quebec. He roared, "Who dares to behave atrociously?" Not only him, but his brothers had also come out. Even the fifth elder was alarmed by the news. The person who attacked at this time was definitely someone who had a grudge against them. After thinking about it, it could only be Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had such strength? He dared to attack his residence directly? What kind of joke was this? After the fifth elder arrived, he looked at the sky and his pupils constricted. He realized that there was a figure standing in the sky. The demonic aura on his body was monstrous, like a peerless demon god. That aura made his scalp tingle. Could it be that it was the demonic expert from before? Why are you attacking my residence? The fifth elder asked coldly. Mad God. A thunderous voice sounded in the sky. The people below were stunned. Who was Mad God? What an arrogant name. Chapter 4858. How could he not know of this name? Mad God was too famous. He was currently ranked 1000 on the Holy Gulf Glory ranking. Moreover, he had risen in a very short period of time. A few years ago, he was not even on the Holy Gulf Glory ranking, but in a short period of time, he had rushed to the top 3000. Now, he was already 1,000. Such a person was extremely powerful. He was a legendary figure. It was just that they had never provoked such a terrifying existence. The fifth elder gritted his teeth and asked, "So it's Mad God? I've heard a lot about you. When did the Nalan family offend you? Why are you attacking my residence? You're here for Lin Xian." The cold voice sounded again. The fifth elder was stunned. Nalan K and the others felt their scalps go numb. The other party was here for Lin Xian. Could it be that Mad God and Lin Xian knew each other? And it seemed that he was here to avenge Lin Xian. The people below broke out in cold sweat. The fifth elder was also frightened. He did not expect Lin Xian to have such a backer. He said, "I didn't know that young Master Lin was related to you. I prepared 3 world cores and sent them to the True Path sect." "Too late," Lin Xian said coldly, "you don't need to exist anymore." "What did you say?" The fifth elder's pupils shrank. Nalan K and the others were also frightened. Then he shouted angrily, "Don't be too arrogant. We respect you because of the Holy Gulf Glory ranking. Although you're powerful, can you really fight against all of us? The Nalan family is also a top family. Not everyone can step on us." "I'm arrogant? You're the one who betrayed me first. Then you joined forces with the Sky Sect elders to kill Lin Xian. Now, I'm only here for revenge. You dare to say that I'm arrogant?" In the sky, Lin Xian sneered. Then he threw a punch. The black fist was like a falling meteorite as it charged downwards. Instantly, countless people from the Nalan family turned into a bloody mist. The other experts retreated one after another. "Father, what should we do?" Nalan K asked. The fifth elder gritted his teeth and said, "Damn it. So what if he's Mad God? Let's attack together." They might not be a match for him in a one-on-one, but they had many experts. The fifth elder himself was a top-notch expert. In addition, this was their territory. There were many array formations, sacred artifacts, and resources here. Could it be that he was afraid of the other party? Thinking of this, the fifth elder shouted angrily. Nalan also waved his hand and joined forces with the array to attack. Battle cries shook the heavens. Nalan K and his 3 brothers instantly arrived in front of Lin Xian. Some used long swords, sabers, and thunderhammers. Endless rays of nomological light erupted, enveloping Lin Xian. "Go to hell," Nalan K sneered. If the 4 of them attacked together, no one would be able to stop them. Boom! Lin Xian's body exuded a monstrous demonic aura as he executed the 6 Dao fists. His black fists seemed to have opened the gates of the devil world, vast and boundless. In an instant, the divine sword, battle saber, and lightning hammer were all sent flying. Light of the demon god. Lin Xian waved his left hand. Boundless black light turned into a demonic sword and shot out. Boom! Nalan K and the others were pushed back, their blood and chi churning. Some of them were even pierced through and injured. "Damn it, he's so strong?" Nalan K was horrified, and the others felt their scalps go numb. The fifth elder roared and activated the Peerless Array. The other surviving Nalan family martial artists also took action. The mountains and rivers below were shattered, the earth cracked, and a Peerless Array emerged, shining with a terrifying light. Sky-trapping Array. This was an extremely powerful array. Once it was activated, it could seal the heavens and earth. No one could escape. This time, they wanted to completely trap Mad God to prevent any future trouble. Nalan K and the other 3 attacked again. The 4 of them joined forces and formed the 4 Ultimate Sword Array. A sword light appeared in each of their hands, enveloping Lin Xian. Lin Xian attacked with the light of the demon god in his left hand and the 6 Dao fists in his right hand. The battle between the 2 sides was earth-shattering. At the same time, the sky-trapping array kept casting seals, enveloping Lin Xian. Lin Xian was really too powerful at this moment. Mo Chi was monstrous, turning into a terrifying yin-yang image to block the sky-trapping array. Then he punched one of the experts into pieces. The 4 Ultimate Sword Array was broken, and Nalan K and the others quickly retreated. They were shocked. Is this Mad God? He's too strong. The four of them were no match for him. At the critical moment, the fifth elder made his move. Demon Destruction Palm. He struck out a peerless divine skill, and a huge palm covered the sky and earth as it attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian was forced to retreat. Mad God? You're just a sosa. The fifth elder sneered. He realized that the other party was powerful, but he was not as good as him. Great, let's attack together. Nalan K and the others laughed wildly. Old thing, do you really think you can suppress me? Lin Xian roared, his black hair dancing wildly. A black spear appeared in his hand. Great destruction. Kill. Lin Xian's attack pierced through heaven and earth, and at this moment he became the only one in the world. Boom. A figure screamed. Nalan K roared crazily. He was pierced by the black spear and nailed to the void. The demonic chi in front of him terrified him. Damn it, get lost. The fifth elder roared crazily, struck out with the demon destruction saber, and attacked the great destruction spear. Lin Xian, on the other hand, channeled the power of the great dragon sword soul and integrated it into the great destruction spear. He increased the great destruction spear, which originally had an extremely strong destructive aura. The two forces burst out from Nalan K's body. Nalan K's body cracked and turned into a bloody mist. His soul was also destroyed by the aura of the great dragon sword soul in an instant. Is he dead? The other three brothers were horrified when they saw this scene. Nalan K was their eldest brother, and he was considered the strongest, but he was killed in one blow. Is this mad god so terrifying? The fifth elder's eyes turned red. I must tear you into pieces. He attacked crazily. It had to be said that the fifth elder was very powerful. He was far from being a match for Nalan K and the others. Even if Lin Xian used the Great Destruction Spear, he could only protect himself. He was suppressed and at a disadvantage. The fifth elder's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Kid, is this all your strength? Then you can go to hell. A saber appeared in the fifth elder's hand. It was the great sage weapon, the Demon Slayer saber. He fought with all his strength, slaying the demon with one blow. You demon, go to hell. Have you used your trump card? Lin Xian's face was cold. In the next moment he crushed a few array formations in the storage ring. The heavenly treasures inside shattered, providing him with a powerful force. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in his hand, shrouded in demonic aura. It seemed to have turned into a demonic sword. So he slashed out with the sword, facing the Demon Slayer saber. They collided. The sky fell and the earth cracked. Boom! An earth-shaking sound rang out, and the whole world kept shattering. The mansion below was torn apart. This attack was too powerful. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul with all his strength. In the sky, a figure descended, and Saint Blood fell wildly. Is that kid dead? In the mansion below, the people of the Nalan family were ecstatic. However, when they saw the white-haired figure, they were all stunned. The fifth elder. Chapter 48:59. The fifth elder was in a very miserable state. The sword pierced through his right shoulder and split his body open. His internal organs were all shattered, and half of his heart was also shattered. In particular, the biting cold aura and terrifying demonic chi made his injuries unable to heal completely. This terrified him too much. Father, are you all right? The few men below roared. The fifth elder's face was pale. He said that he was severely injured. He wanted to activate the array spirit and fuse with it. Help me resist for a while. As he said that, the fifth elder flew towards the ground below. It seemed that he was going to use his ultimate trump card. In the ninth heaven, Nalan Yenran looked at this scene in disbelief. When her father was killed by a single blow, she was terrified as if she had lost her soul. Now that she saw her grandfather being severely injured, she was even more terrified. Was it really Lin Xian? Lin Xian actually had such powerful strength. It was ridiculous that they were still thinking about how to deal with him. They were really courting death. Now, she wanted to shout and stop him, but she couldn't do it at all. She was afraid that she would have to watch her family be destroyed with her own eyes. below. When the three men heard this, they were also shocked. Then they roared, "Everyone listen up. Control the array formation with all your strength and block this kid with me." The fifth elder took out the Demon Slayer saber and launched a shocking attack, but he was still no match for Lin Xian. He could only use his ultimate trump card. However, that trump card needed some time to fuse, and this time could not be disturbed. Therefore they had to stop Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly and descended. The great spear of destruction tore through the ninth heaven like a black dragon. Many people vomited blood and were sent flying. The entire sky turned into a sea of blood. Countless corpses turned into white bones and fell from the sky. The three men also vomited blood. He was too powerful. However, the sky-trapping formation was indeed terrifying. With the cooperation of many powerhouses, they stopped Lin Xian in his tracks. Lin Xian's face was cold. He snorted coldly. 6 paths. In the sky, another figure descended. The 6 paths fist swept across the surroundings. Many people were sent flying. Damn it, did this guy have helpers? They were terrified. Mad God was already so powerful. If another top expert came, they really wouldn't be able to stop him. You are the 6 paths cultivator. Damn it, why are you helping him? The people of the Nalan family roared crazily. They had contacted the vagrant 6 paths before and had even given him 2 worlds to protect Nalan Yenran. Who would have thought that the other party would run away and follow the mad god to attack the Nalan family? The voice of the 5th elder came from below. 6 paths, do you want to be my enemy? Think about the consequences. My Nalan family will not let you off. 6 paths snorted. He was Lin Xian's battle servant. Why would he care about such things? Lin Xian said, "Break through their defenses and don't let them affect me." After saying that, he rushed down. Damn it. Stop him. Below, the experts of the Nalan family attacked. However, the 6 paths was also very strong. After all, he was ranked 2001 on the honor roll. He definitely wasn't someone these people could stop. Although he couldn't do anything to the entrapment formation, it was easy for him to help Lin Xian stop the enemy. Without the obstruction of those people, Lin Xian continued to descend. He stretched out his hand and punched out with the 6 paths fist, shattering the ground. Below, the formation rolled, and the 5th elder spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it. In front of him, there was an ancient altar with a purple light on it. What the 5th elder wanted to do was to swallow the purple light into his body and then fuse it with the formation. He wanted to control the formation and defeat his opponent. Now that he had just fused with the formation, he was injured. His expression was ugly. Fuse quickly. His laws were burning and his eyes were red. The purple light had fused with him. However, halfway through, Lin Xian came. He struck forward with his palm. In an instant, the 5th elder was sent flying. The 5th elder spat out blood and roared. Damn it, he was so close. However, his strength had also become much stronger than before. Demon Slayer. He struck out with the Demon Slayer again. Lin Xian used the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul again. Half of the 5th elder's body was shattered, and he screamed crazily. The purple light that he had just fused with was also beaten out. You can't kill me. The 5th elder roared. I'm an elder of the Nalan family. If you kill me, you will become an enemy of the Nalan family. As he spoke, he secretly cast a spell and began to ask the family for help. Why, are you afraid? Lin Xian sneered. When you attacked the young people before, did you think of this situation? He walked forward and slapped the 5th elder to the ground. Half of the 5th elder's face was smashed. Damn it, his eyes were red, and he was so angry that his lungs were about to burst. As a powerhouse of the older generation and a core elder of the Nalan family, when had he ever been suppressed like this? Who dared to hit his face? But now, the other party did it. Not only that, Lin Xian stepped on his head with 1 foot and crushed him mercilessly. Aren't you very powerful? Aren't you being ungrateful? Come on, continue to be arrogant. I'll endure it. The 5th elder gritted his teeth. He had already asked the family for help. It wouldn't be long before the family's powerhouses arrived. At that time, would the family just sit back and watch? At most, he would plead with the family and admit his mistake. The family would definitely protect him. No matter how strong the other party was, could he become an enemy of the entire Nayland family? Sure enough, when the fifth elder was fighting here, the Nayland family headquarters knew about it. What was going on? There was a problem in the fifth elder's mansion again. Soon the news spread out. The people in the Nayland family headquarters were also surprised. Some elders frowned. This fifth elder was really looking for trouble. What was he doing again? Ignore it. But not long after, they were stunned. They received the fifth elder's request for help. Not good, there might be a problem. This time, even the Nayland family's patriarch was alarmed. Follow me. In an instant, dozens of figures flashed past. These were all extremely terrifying. The great sage elder. In addition, there were more powerhouses and saints who rushed into the sky. They were going to support the fifth elder. The eighth elder's territory naturally received the news. The fifth elder's mansion was attacked? The fifth elder sent a request for help? Who did it? They were stunned. Then the eighth elder sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be related to Lin Xian? Let's go and take a look. They also moved quickly. In an instant, everyone set off for the fifth elder's mansion. The battle in the fifth elder's mansion was terrifying. The Six Paths was fighting against many powerhouses of the Nayland family. At this moment, his body was also stained with blood. However, he was not afraid at all. Lin Xian only gave him one goal, which was to stop the other party and not hold back. Therefore, many of the Nayland family's powerhouses died at the hands of the Six Paths. Those people's eyes were bloodshot. However, the other party was indeed very strong. With a strong physique and the Six Paths fist, not many people could compete with him. Chapter 4860. But soon they were in despair, because the fifth elder's scream came from the ground. Those people roared crazily. The fifth elder was being beaten up. Damn it, how could this be? The fifth elder's situation was very miserable. He was tortured endlessly, and even his soul was severely injured. Lin Xian didn't kill him, so he wouldn't let him die so easily. He would let him taste what it was like to live a life worse than death. Mad God, are you satisfied? Can you spare my life? The fifth elder roared and begged for mercy. Of course, he didn't really submit. He was waiting for the people of the family to arrive. They should be here soon. He just had to endure for a while. When the people of the family arrived, he would suppress them. He would return the favor 100 times, no, 10,000 times. Lin Xian snorted coldly. It's useless to beg for mercy. I'll send you on your way. The great spear of destruction pierced through the fifth elder's heart and nailed him to the ground. The fifth elder felt as if his entire body was about to split apart. His opponent was too terrifying. Every attack he made was fatal. He was definitely seriously injured by this attack. Even if he didn't die, his combat strength would be greatly reduced. His foundation was severely injured. If he wasn't treated in time, he would be crippled. Was he really going to die in the hands of the other party? Just as the fifth elder was in despair, an angry shout came from the sky. Who dares to attack the people of the Nayland family? Do you want to die? Numerous voices resounded like a myriad of thunderclaps, shaking the world. The fifth elder smiled. He knew that the powerhouses of the family had arrived. When the Nayland family's patriarch arrived with a group of elders, he was dumbfounded. This was the fifth elder's residence? It had long been torn apart. There was an endless sea of blood in the sky, and piles of bones below. This was simply a Jura hell. How long had it been? The fifth elder had become like this? Who was it that did it? Patriarch, you're here. Two people flew over, both of them crying. They were the sons of the fifth elder. There were 3 of them before, and one of them was killed by Six Paths. Thus, the remaining 2 people, as well as the surrounding people, were all covered with injuries. Who did it? An elder walked out, his eyes filled with killing intent. He stared at a figure in front of him and frowned. The person in front was covered in blood, and it was impossible to tell who he was. The Nianren said that it was the Six Paths cultivator. What? Rogue cultivator of 6 paths. The surrounding people were shocked, and their expressions changed greatly. This was an expert on the glory rankings. Why would he attack the 5th Elder's residence? The leader of the Nayland family frowned. That's not right. Although the 6 paths is strong, you might not be his match in a one-on-one fight. However, this was the power of an entire mansion. It wasn't something that the 6 paths could deal with alone. It wasn't him. He was just a helper. The real attacker was Mad God. He was here to avenge Lin Xian. What? Mad God? Hearing this name, the people of the Nayland family gasped. Even the Nayland clan's patriarch's pupils shrank. This name reverberated like thunder in their ears. This was a newly risen super expert in Holy Abyss Ancient City. How did the other party attack? When they heard the last sentence, they were all stunned. The other party was here to avenge Lin Xian. Lin Xian actually knew Mad God. Damn it, why didn't they know before? This 5th elder was really courting death. The Nayland clan's patriarch was instantly furious. He said, "Where's the 5th elder?" Mad God was attacking him below. "Patriarch, please save my father." The 2 men exclaimed. The Nayland clan's patriarch stretched out his hand and tore open the ground. He happened to see the scene of Lin Xian attacking. "How dare you!" With a wave of his hand, a shocking purple light turned into a divine light that pierced through heaven and earth. On the ground below, Lin Xian wanted to continue attacking, but he felt that the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. He turned around and swept out with the great spear of destruction, blocking the attack. Boom! He was forced back, and his arm was numb. What a terrifying power! The experts of the Nayland family had arrived. Lin Xian looked at the sky. There were dozens of figures, and the leader was a middle-aged man. His aura was terrifying, even more terrifying than the 5th elder. Thinking about it, this should be the Nayland clan's patriarch. "You're Mad God?" The Nayland clan's patriarch frowned. The other party's demonic energy was monstrous. It was too terrifying. To be able to resist him and only retreat, this Mad God really lived up to his reputation. At this moment, Lin Xian had used all his trump cards. With the spear of destruction in his hand and the great sage defending him, he looked up and stared at the people below. "You want to stand up for the 5th elder?" "Mad God, the 5th elder was wrong previously. I will make him apologize in public and compensate Lin Xian with 3 world cores. So you should stop." Lin Xian laughed loudly. "Stop when you say so? Why didn't you say this before I came? Now that you feel that you can't win, you want to beg for mercy. It's not that simple. Previously, 30 world cores would either kneel down and beg me. But not now. They have to die to appease my anger." The Nayland clan's patriarch frowned. This person was really arrogant. The surrounding elders were even more furious. This guy dared to be so arrogant. Did he really think that the Nayland clan was weak? In the 9 skies, Nayland Yenran was already in despair. But when the Nayland clan's patriarch came, she regained her hope. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Friend, if you dare to help the 5th elder again, don't blame me for destroying your Nayland clan and turning it into history." After speaking, Lin Xian punched out, shattering the 5th elder's body into pieces. The 5th elder cried out in pain. This attack had almost killed him. "You dare!" In the sky, the Nayland clan's patriarch was furious. The other elders also roared. "Brat, you dare to threaten our Nayland clan? There are many people who have challenged our Nayland clan, but none of them have succeeded. You are no exception." In the sky, dozens of elders pressed down, shattering the 9 skies and 10 earths. They were too strong. Even the 6 paths spat out blood and was sent flying. There were even more cracks on his body. "It seems like you are determined to fight." Lin Xian's face was cold. His body flashed and he charged towards the 9 skies. The Great Destruction spear charged towards one of the elders. "You are courting death." That person punched out, and the others followed suit. A huge battle broke out. Below, the 5th elder saw this and laughed. His soul came out of the scabbard and merged with the purple light of the altar. He wanted revenge. He wanted to kill Lin Xian personally. Outside, Lin Xian felt a huge pressure. Although he was strong, dozens of elders attacking at the same time was terrifying. His face was cold. If you want to die, I will fulfill your wishes. Chapter 4861. This aura. The Nalan family leader was terrified. The dozens of elders also felt their scalps go numb. They really didn't expect that the other party could actually make such a shocking sword move. They wanted to escape, but it was already too late. This sword had absorbed enough power. When the sword slashed out, heaven and earth split open. Those elders were like kites swaying in the wind, instantly flying out. 5 elders turned into blood mist, their souls destroyed by the sword. Heaven and earth split open, and a rain of blood fell. Countless elders roared. The Nalan family leader's eyes were red. This sword actually killed 5 elders. It was too terrifying. Lin Xian's face was also pale. His body swayed and he spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood. Although there was external power to provide the great dragon sword soul, the pressure on his body was also very great. It was also because of the 9 yang divine body that he could withstand this attack. Otherwise, if he turned into another great sage, his body would probably be shattered before he could use it. Even so, Lin Xian's body still split open. He was injured. However, he smiled when he saw the other party. After one strike, 5 elders were shattered, causing the Nalan family members to be terrified. The Nalan family leader's heart was bleeding. Damn it. Stuff. The Nalan family leader roared, but the others were angry. Especially the remaining elders, their eyes were red. Damn it, kill him. Take his treasures and avenge our people. That was a super powerful trump card just now. He definitely couldn't use it a second time. The remaining 20 or so elders rushed over again. Lin Xian's eyes emitted an extremely cold light. He swallowed heavenly treasures in large mouthfuls and circulated the 9 yang divine body to the extreme. At the same time, the immortal indestructible technique in his body quickly circulated. Immortal battle armor covered his body, increasing his vitality. He crushed the last remaining array formation, and the power inside surged out and poured into the great dragon sword soul. Another sword slash. The 20 or so elders despaired. With such a super powerful trump card, shouldn't the other party be out of power after using it once? Why could he use it a second time? They actually forgot to escape. The sword slashed down, and another 5 elders' astral souls were destroyed. The remaining dozen or so elders were also seriously injured, their faces pale. Nalan clan's patriarch roared crazily. He rushed over and said, "We won't interfere in this matter anymore." He couldn't continue fighting even though he saw Lin Xian spitting out blood again and his body splitting apart, as if he was about to split into 2 halves. However, he didn't dare to make another move. Who knew if his opponent would be able to unleash a 3rd strike? Lin Xian's situation was also very bad. The power of the array formation had already disappeared, and he was also under great pressure. The 9 yang divine body was severely injured, but it should have intimidated the Nalan family. In the sky, Nalan Yenran despaired. Lin Xian had killed 10 core elders in 2 strikes. This was simply a heaven-defying feat. Even the crown prince probably couldn't do it. What was that thing in his hand? Was it an extreme weapon? Why was he so strong? Nalan Yenran went crazy. She didn't expect that her regret would cause such a serious loss to her family. The Nalan family was completely terrified. They kept retreating, wanting to escape. However, at this moment, the ground below split open as a sinister laughter rang out. "Ha, kid, die for me. I'll let you know the consequences of living a life worse than death." This voice came from the 5th elder. Purple light surrounded his body as if he had turned into a strange existence. The entire world collapsed as a huge purple array formation appeared around him. It enveloped heaven and earth. A terrifying aura filled the air. Nalan family's patriarch Tong Meng said that the 5th elder had fused with the array spirit. What was he trying to do? Lin Xian also frowned. He stared ahead as a purple figure floated over. It was a purple flag with the 5th elder's soul aura on it. The fifth elder's soul had fused with the purple flag and turned into the array spirit, controlling the entire sky-trapping array. Kid, I'll let you know the true power of the sky-trapping array. The flag formed by the fifth elder swayed. The sky-trapping array completely bloomed and turned into a purple steel. One of them suppressed the 6 paths unaccompanied. At the same time, 3 steels charged toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt an extremely strong sealing power. He threw out the 6 paths fist to resist the steel, but it shattered in an instant. It's useless. I've completely turned into an array spirit and can no longer be a human. Do you think the power I displayed after paying such a price will be weak? I'll make you despair. The fifth elder's voice was like a demon, resounding between heaven and earth. Lin Xian was surrounded by the 3 steels, and an extremely strong sealing aura appeared around him. Was he going to be sealed? He shouted coldly. The heaven-swallowing jar appeared and swallowed the heavens and earth, blocking the 3 steels. However, Lin Xian's current situation was very bad. The fifth elder saw that he had injured his physique by using the great dragon sword soul, so he attacked crazily. After the 3 steels, there were 9 more steels in the sky. They ruthlessly descended and suppressed everything. In the distance, the Nalan family's patriarch heaved a sigh of relief. Their eyes were shining. After suppressing this kid, they must get the sword in his hand. Too strong. They all suspected that it might be an extreme weapon. Even if it wasn't, it was an extremely terrifying legendary holy weapon. Lin Xian was enveloped by the 12 steels and sealed. The fifth elder laughed loudly. He turned into a large flag and flew forward. He wanted to make the other party suffer a fate worse than death. Lin Xian's eyes bloomed with an extremely cold light. Old thing, do you really think that you can control the entire array and turn into an array spirit to compete with me? Let me show you what the strongest power in the world is. Do you think you still have the power? The fifth elder snorted coldly. He could see that Lin Xian was already an arrow at the end of its flight. If he used any more power, his body would be completely shattered. However, Lin Xian's eyes were filled with madness. His trump card was not only that. Previously, he had already let the dark red divine dragon take action. The dark red divine dragon and the others quietly set up the spirit transferring array in the fifth elder's mansion. Previously, Lin Xian had not used it because this spirit transferring array was very terrifying. It would devour all the spirit veins below the mansion and transform them into powerful energy for his use. Lin Xian originally wanted to kill the fifth elder and seize the other party's mansion without destroying the spirit veins. But now it seemed that it was impossible. Since that was the case, he would use it. His palms formed a seal, and the spirit transferring array around the mansion emerged from the ground, emitting a bright light. In an instant, the spirit veins in the fifth elder's mansion shook and quickly dried up and shattered. What was going on? The fifth elder was terrified. He found that the power of his sky-trapping array was weakening. In addition to absorbing the power of heaven and earth, this array was more important for the supreme-grade spirit veins below. But at this moment, was there a problem with the supreme-grade spirit veins? The spirit transferring array kept blooming with light. At the same time, an array diagram appeared behind Lin Xian. The power of the spirit transferring array merged into his body through the array behind him. Chapter 4862. Slaying Immortals with a Single Slash. A cold voice rang out. The dragon sword spirit seemed to come alive as it slashed down mercilessly. The entrapment array shook violently. Countless cracks appeared on it and spread in all directions. No, damn it. How could this power be so terrifying? The fifth elder was terrified. The battle of the entrapment array, a peerless attack. That purple flag was swaying non-stop. The fifth elder was also going all out. He burned all of his energy. The entrapment array sent out millions of heavenly steels to suppress the sword. However, all of the heavenly steels were destroyed by the sword. The heaven-trapping array was torn to pieces, and the purple flag was also cut in half by the sword. Inside the flag, the fifth elder's soul was also being torn apart. The pain made him despair. He wanted to escape, but there was no way he could escape under this sword. He was crushed into powder and disappeared without a trace. Boom. At the same time, Lin Xian's body cracked and turned into a mist of blood. The entire world continued to collapse and shatter. The fifth elder's residence was completely reduced to nothingness. The rogue cultivator of 6 paths quickly retreated. The heavenly steels that suppressed him were broken. He was injured all over, but he didn't die. At this moment, his face was full of shock. Was his master dead? He couldn't believe it. On the other side, the Nalan family leader also retreated with a group of elders. The 8th elder was also terrified. Had the mad god died? He was shocked. The mad god was related to Lin Xian, and Lin Xian was related to Nalan Liang. If the mad god died, Lin Xian would have no one to rely on. Nalan Liang would be in danger, so he didn't want to die. However, the Nalan family leader laughed. His eyes shone brightly. It was good that Mad God died. After all, Mad God had killed the 5th elder. He was a great enemy of their family. Moreover, he desperately wanted the sword shadow in Mad God's body. Mad God's death was good news for him. From now on, he could sweep the world with his sword. Was he dead? They were all destroyed. They died together. In the 9th heaven, Nalan Yenran heaved a sigh of relief. However, it had already been a few times. Now, she was not too sure if the other party would really die. The Nalan clan's clan head walked over with large strides. He waved his hands and tore apart the storm that filled the sky. Some of the spatial cracks that hit him were blocked by his armor. He came to the shattered space in front of him and looked around, trying to find the dragon sword. However, he discovered that there was none. What's going on? Did the dragon sword disappear? Find it for me. They had to find it even if they had to dig 3 feet into the ground. The people around him moved quickly. However, at that moment, a voice rang out. You want to snatch my treasure? Hearing this voice, everyone stopped. They were terrified. This was the voice of the mad god. The Nalan clan's patriarch's pupils shrank as he quickly retreated. Who was it? Playing tricks? Could it be that you're not dead? This was impossible. His opponent's physique definitely wouldn't have been able to withstand such an attack. He had personally seen his opponent turn into a blood mist island. Why did he have to die? Lin Xian's voice rang out. He looked up to the sky and laughed. I am immortal. Between heaven and earth, there was an extremely terrifying law condensing. The immortality art swept out quickly. The blood mist that filled the sky merged again, turning into a fiend godlike figure that appeared in the sky. A roar that could break the 9 heavens. You're still alive? The Nalan clan's patriarch retreated, his face pale. The others were also terrified. A trace of hope was restored in the 8th elder's eyes. Great. Nalan Yenran knelt on the ground in horror. He was indeed not dead. If he was not dead, who could kill him? After Lin Xian appeared, demonic chi surrounded his body. He also felt incredulous. Indeed, although he didn't die from the previous attack, he must have been seriously injured. The power of the great dragon sword soul had already exceeded the limits of what his body could withstand. However, when his body split open, he felt a strange power. It was the power of the immortality art. After this power condensed his body, half of his injuries were healed. It was too amazing. The dragon sword appeared in Lin Xian's hand again. He stared at the Nalan clan's patriarch like a fiend god. Do you want this sword? The sword chi appeared, piercing through heaven and earth. The Nalan clan's patriarch's pupils shrank. It was this sword that killed 10 core elders and killed the 5th elder with one sword. How could he forget? I think you misunderstood. I was just worried about whether you died. The Nalan clan's patriarch laughed twice. Since you're still alive, that's great. You killed the 5th elder, our Nalan clan will not pursue the matter. With that, he turned around to leave with his people. Lin Xian sneered. Won't pursue the matter? Do you dare to pursue the matter? The 5th elder deserved to die, but you actually brought people to support him. How should you be punished? The Nalan clan's patriarch was also angry. He turned around and shouted coldly. You want to punish me? You think too highly of yourself. I'm the patriarch of the clan, not someone the fifth elder can touch. You already spent so much effort to kill the fifth elder, and you still want to kill me? Hearing this, a cold aura appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. At the same time, a black vortex appeared behind him. It could swallow heaven and earth. If you were in the Nalan clan's headquarters now, I wouldn't be able to kill you. But you're here now. If I want to kill you, although I will have to pay a price, it may not be impossible. Damn it. The Nalan clan's patriarch's face was pale, and the other elders' pupils shrank. Indeed, there was no core array of the family headquarters here, nor were there many resources and sacred weapons. If they were to fight here, it would be unwise. Let's go. These people rose into the air one after another. However, Lin Xian had already struck out the swallowing heaven jar. An endless black vortex appeared around him, as if it could swallow everything. You dare to stop me? Although you've recovered and are not dead, you're already seriously injured and at the end of your rope. You're not qualified to compete with me. The Nalan clan's patriarch roared. He seemed to have seen through Lin Xian's secret. Lin Xian smiled. Yes, I'm seriously injured and my strength is not as good as before, but if I burn my laws and fight to the death, none of you can block the power of this sword. The worst result would be mutual destruction. But do you want to die? He looked at the 20 or so elders. The elders' faces were ugly. With so many core elders, it was not worth it to die together with the other party. Lin Xian said, You want to live? I'll spare your lives. I won't blame all the elders, but you must join forces to kill this patriarch. Otherwise, I'll send all of you to hell. As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. The Nalan clan's patriarch's face became ugly. The 20 elders' faces were also solemn. At this time, an elder asked coldly, Can we believe you? Lin Xian said, I swear in the name of the mad god that I won't kill you. The Nalan clan's patriarch was terrified. He looked at the surrounding elders and said, Damn it, what do you want to do? Chapter 4863. The surrounding elders all had cold expressions. Patriarch, this brat is right. If we make a move against him, everyone's souls will be destroyed, and we will all die together. That would be too tragic. So why don't you die and help us all? Another person walked out and said, That's right. As the patriarch, you have to think for the family. If we all die, we will all die. The Nalan family is finished, so we have to live. These people's voices were cold. The Nalan family's patriarch's face became ugly. He stared at Lin Xian. Damn it, I'm going to kill you. He knew that he had to deal with this kid in front of him. Otherwise, he might be killed by his own family. Lin Xian sneered and retreated. He said, Hurry up and attack. I will attack all of you in 3 seconds. The other elders' pupils shrank when they heard this and they attacked. With a roar, they charged toward the Nalan family's patriarch. Damn it, the Nalan family's patriarch was instantly sent flying and vomited blood. He gritted his teeth and fled in the direction of the family. He could only survive if he returned to the family. However, since those people had already attacked, it was impossible to let them go. Otherwise, they would definitely die. So, these people attacked crazily. Although the Nalan family's patriarch was powerful, he was surrounded by more than a dozen elders. He was no match for them at all. After all, he didn't have a dragon sword soul like Lin Xian. He didn't have an extreme weapon. So, he vomited blood and his body was broken. I hate it. He roared to the sky. He didn't expect that the patriarch of his family would end up like this. Lin Xian stood in the distance and sneered. He didn't plan to attack the other party. But the other party didn't know what was good for him and wanted to kill him at the critical moment. He even wanted to snatch his dragon sword soul. Lin Xian couldn't stand it. He could only send the other party to hell. Moreover, he was a little surprised. More than a dozen elders attacked together, but the 8th elder didn't. The 8th elder stood there in shock. He seemed to be completely stunned. The 8th elder was Nalan Liang's grandfather, and he seemed to be in a good mood. It could be nurtured. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Previously, when the Nalan family attacked him, the 8th elder didn't do anything. This showed that the eighth elder was willing to stand on his side. Now that the Nalan family was besieging the patriarch, the other party didn't make a move. This showed that the other party cared about kindness. Therefore, Lin Xian instantly had an idea. The battle ahead was incredibly terrifying and intense. The Nalan clan's patriarch used all of his strength, even burning his life force, to kill 2 elders. The remaining elders went crazy and attacked with all their might. Finally, the Nalan clan's patriarch was completely annihilated. Had the patriarch fallen? The 8th elder and the others were shocked. The rest of the elders were covered in blood and had ferocious expressions. They turned to look at Lin Xian and asked coldly, "Is this enough?" Lin Xian said with a smile, "All right, but I still have a few things to do." "What's going on?" The dozen or so elders at the front frowned. Lin Xian said with a smile, "The Nalan clan's patriarch has been killed by you. The Nalan clan has no leader. I'm afraid it's very bad. Therefore, a new patriarch must be elected immediately. I've decided to let the 8th elder be the patriarch." "What?" As soon as these words came out, the faces of the dozen or so elders in front changed drastically. One of them had an ugly expression. He was the great elder. Previously, he was the first to stand up and attack the patriarch. Although he didn't want to die together with Lin Xian, he wanted to use this opportunity to kill the patriarch. Then he would be the strongest and have the highest status. He could smoothly become the new patriarch. It could be said that he could kill many birds with one stone. But he didn't expect that the 8th elder would become the patriarch. His dream was shattered. The great elder's eyes were red. He said coldly, "Who will be the patriarch is our Nalan clan's business. You can't control it." "Yes, I can't control it, but I have recorded the previous battle scene with a formation. If the scene recorded by this formation is spread out, especially to the Nalan clan, do you think you are still qualified to be an elder?" Well, as soon as these words came out, the great elder's pupils shrank. The faces of the other dozen or so elders also became ugly. Damn it, they rushed over in an instant. Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword and said, "Do you want to die? I'll help you." Feeling the terrifying aura coming from the great dragon sword, these people stopped and their faces became unsightly. Damn it, they found that they had jumped into a big hole, which was dug by the other party. Now they were in a dilemma. They didn't have the courage to fight with Lin Xian, and they didn't dare to spread the scene recorded by the formation. Once they did, they would become the enemies of the Nalan clan. Damn it, the great elder roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted coldly, "I'll give you one last chance. Now, let the 8th elder be the patriarch. At the same time, I guarantee that your original status will not change. Otherwise, don't blame me for destroying everything. Anyway, the unlucky one is the Nalan clan. I have nothing to lose." Lin Xian sneered. The other elders naturally understood that this mad god had nothing to do with their clan. Even if their Nalan clan was destroyed, they couldn't do anything to him. So these people thought about it and finally decided to grit their teeth. "Okay, we agree to let the 8th elder be the patriarch." As soon as these words came out, the great elder was instantly angry, but now no one supported him. He could only bow his head unwillingly. Let the 8th elder be the patriarch first. However, his strength was stronger than the 8th elder. He could secretly cultivate his own strength. One day, he would take back the position of the patriarch. And this mad god, he wouldn't let the great elder go. A hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes, but it quickly disappeared. This scene happened in an instant, but how could it be hidden from Lin Xian's eyes? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The great elder better not make a move secretly, otherwise, he could guarantee that the other party would die miserably. In front, more than a dozen elders came to the 8th elder's side and bowed. The patriarch accidentally fell in the battle. The 8th elder is highly respected and suitable to be the patriarch. We have now decided to let the 8th elder become the new patriarch and accept the patriarch seal. The Nalan clan's patriarch's storage ring was taken over, and a purple seal flew out from it, which was the symbol of the patriarch's identity. At this moment, they were going to hand it over to the 8th elder. The 8th elder was completely stunned. To be honest, he was shocked by the previous scene. At the same time, he didn't expect that he would become the patriarch. He looked at Mad God and wanted to say something. Lin Xian said, "Be the patriarch at ease. From now on, the Nalan clan is yours. Don't worry about my purpose. I support Lin Xian, and your grandson and Lin Xian are good friends. This is the reason." The eighth elder's body trembled. It turned out that it was because of Lin Xian, and his grandson did have an unusual relationship with Lin Xian. He didn't expect that today's scene would be because of his grandson. Chapter 4864. The eighth elder's eyes were filled with determination. He had already made up his mind and accepted the patriarch's seal. As one of the core elders, he was also a great sage. Previously, he had been suppressed by the fifth elder and had been unable to achieve his goals. Therefore, he didn't bother with the family's affairs. Now that the fifth elder and the patriarch had both died, he could use this opportunity to revive the Nalan family. "Since you all think highly of me, I won't decline." A domineering aura emerged from the eighth elder's body. The surrounding elders were stunned, and even the first elder's pupils shrank. This eighth elder had hidden his strength well. Previously, he had never taken the eighth elder seriously. The biggest threat to him was the fifth elder because the fifth elder's granddaughter was the #1 genius of the family. She was very likely to take over the position of patriarch in the future. But now, the fifth elder was dead, and the eighth elder was showing a powerful domineering aura. This was something that had never happened before. After the eighth elder took over, he quickly entered the role of patriarch. He said in a deep voice, "The cause of this battle was the fifth elder's betrayal, and no one else could be blamed. From today onwards, no one in the Nalan family was allowed to seek revenge on Mad God. Moreover, he had to fulfill Lin Xian's request. When he returned to the family, he would immediately collect 3 world cores and give them to Lin Xian. He would also give 2 more as compensation." The pupils of the surrounding elders shrank. 5 world cores, were they going to give them away? However, they didn't dare to object. They didn't give them away previously, which led to the current situation. If they dared to refuse, there was no need for the Nalan family to exist. Therefore, everyone nodded in agreement. The eighth elder looked at Lin Xian and said, "Fellow Taoist Mad God. In fact, there was a misunderstanding between us. From now on, the grudges between us are written off. Our family admires fellow Taoist Mad God's strength very much and wants to become friends with you. What do you think?" After hearing this, Lin Xian smiled. This eighth elder was indeed very smart. He was very satisfied with all the decisions made by the eighth elder. Therefore, he nodded and said, "Yes." Then, he looked at the dozen or so elders and said coldly, "I don't want the eighth elder to be in any danger. If he died, there was no need for the Nalan family to exist. Don't even think about making a move in secret. If I find out, I'll immediately send out the scene recorded by the formation. With the crime of murdering the clan leader, I'm afraid there will be no place for you in this world. Take care of yourselves." After Lin Xian warned, he turned around and soared into the sky. The 6 Paths cultivator followed. Everyone looked up at the sky in fear. They knew that from now on, the Nalan family would have to respect the other party. In the 9 heavens, Nalan Yenran was completely stunned. She seemed to have lost her soul. Lin Xian walked over and cleaved the other party apart with a single slash, destroying both his body and soul. After that, his figure disappeared between heaven and earth. The next day at dawn, the news spread. The entire Holy Abyss city was shocked. Countless people went crazy. The Nalan family actually underwent such a transformation. It was too inconceivable. Go and investigate. The 3 great orthodoxies, the clan of the ancients, and the great sects all went to investigate. After all, the Nalan family was also a top-notch family. It was impossible for them not to pay attention. Soon the news came. Report. With the death of the 5th elder, the lineage of the Nalan clan's 5th elder was completely exterminated. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Report. In the ruins of the 5th elder's home, the body of the Nalan family's #1 prodigy, Nalan Yenran, was found. Everyone was shocked again. It seemed that the fifth elder's lineage was completely doomed. The Nalan family's patriarch had died in an accident, and the eighth elder took over as the new patriarch. Another piece of news came, shocking everyone. The death of the fifth elder's lineage was already shocking enough. However, he was only an elder after all. When the Nalan family's patriarch died, everyone was stunned. The patriarch of a family had a terrifying status. He was an existence that could shake the entire ancient city with a stomp of his foot. But now he was dead. Who did it? They all went to investigate. Soon, they received the news that Mad God had killed the fifth elder and his lineage. Mad God. When the experts heard this name, they were first stunned, then their eyelids twitched. The other party had actually made a move. How could they not know about Mad God? He was now ranked 1000 on the glory leaderboard, but he was extremely mysterious. They had searched countless times but could not find him. They did not expect him to make a move here. Why did he make a move? Soon they found out that it was to avenge Lin Xian. In an instant, the names Lin Wudi and Mad God spread throughout the ancient city. They all guessed what the relationship between the two was. Could it be that they were master and disciple? Was the Nalan family's patriarch also killed by Mad God? They were too shocked. As the patriarch of a family, how powerful was he? This Mad God was simply too terrifying. However, the news they found was not so. Some people said that according to the news from the Nalan family, the Nalan family's patriarch had died in an accident. The fifth elder wanted to die together with Mad God, but Mad God dodged. The Nalan family's patriarch did not and was destroyed along with the fifth elder. Hearing this news, everyone was stunned. It was not Mad God who killed him. It was actually an accident. They were stunned. This news was naturally spread by the eighth elder. After all, killing the fifth elder was ungrateful, but killing the patriarch was an enemy of the entire family. The eighth elder naturally did not want the Nalan family to become enemies with Mad God, so he spread this news. In an instant, the whole world was in an uproar. Countless people were discussing this, and the Nalan family was also in an uproar. The Nalan family's patriarch was dead. The patriarch had changed. It was the eighth elder, Nalanda. The patriarch's people were definitely against it, especially the patriarch's son. Why should the eighth elder be the patriarch? He should be the one who killed the patriarch. When he spread this news, many people responded to his call. However, none of the core elders supported him. In particular, the great elder and a dozen other core elders stood firmly on Nalanda's side. This made the patriarch's people dumbfounded. Even if they did not support them, the great elder would immediately jump out. However, no one jumped out to oppose it. What was going on? Damn it, what had happened last night? They were eager to know. However, the core elders did not say a word. Just like that, under the insistence of a dozen powerful elders, Nalanda became the new patriarch and led the Nalan family. In the Path sect, there was also a burst of exclamations, especially those from the Divine Union. They were so excited that they wanted to fly to the sky. Mad God was a powerful existence on the Holy Gulf list. He was actually related to Lin Xian. This was equivalent to having a powerful backer. Who would dare to look down on them in the future? Who would dare to make a move against them? As they thought of this, they were very happy. Nalan Liang was even more confused. His grandfather had changed from a core elder to the patriarch overnight. He had become the grandson of the patriarch. Chapter 4865. Of course, Nalan Liang knew that this was all because of Lin Xian. He also knew that Lin Xian was the Mad God. Therefore, he hurried to Lin Xian's side and said, "Boss Lin Xian, the Nalan family will follow you till death." The other members of the Divine Union were even more determined. Now that they were confident, so what if it was the Dragon Palace? They dared to fight for it. When the Levitation Saint heard the news, he was also shocked. He had not expected the legendary Mad God to come. On the other side, the Sky Sect was also shocked, especially the people from the Tianshui Pavilion. Previously, they had hit Lin Xian with a palm strike when they had arrived at the Tianshui Pavilion. At that time, they had thought that Lin Xian did not have any background and that the palm strike had been for nothing. Now, it seemed that was not the case. Not only did Lin Xian have the levitation saint, but he also had the mad god behind him. The levitation saint was an elder of the Tao sect and could not act rashly. However, the mad god did not have any restrictions. He had dared to destroy the fifth elder's faction. It was very likely that he would attack Elder Tianxue as well. Fortunately, Elder Tianxue was punished and could not leave the sect for 50 years. The people from the Tianxue pavilion heaved a sigh of relief. No matter how powerful the mad god was, he would not dare to behave atrociously in the Sky sect. The people from the Sacred Gulf Tower were also shocked when they heard the news. A few divine generals' eyes lit up. The mad god had finally made his move? Send someone to investigate. We have to find out who he is. Looks like we have enough manpower. If we add the mad god, we might be able to fight for the next position. Another divine general nodded. That's right. They had been wondering who the last candidate would be. The mad god's appearance was too timely. It seemed like these divine generals were also looking for the mad god. In an instant, this name had spread throughout the ancient city. On the other side, Lin Xian had entered seclusion after returning to his spiritual abode. He had been severely injured previously. After all, the power of the great dragon sword soul was too terrifying. The power he had used had exceeded his limits. Fortunately, he had cultivated the immortality art, so his foundation had not been damaged. However, he still had to recover quickly. After entering the sword world, Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the Four-Spirit Valley and consumed the spirit herbs he had grown. He replied very quickly. Then he tidied up the spoils of war. He took the storage rings, the remaining resources, and the properties of the fifth elder's branch. He picked out the suitable spiritual herbs and planted them in the Four-Spirit Valley. At the same time, he was still waiting for the arrival of the 5 realm cores. This time, the speed was extremely fast. Not long after, Nalan Liang arrived and brought back 5 realm cores. These 5 world cores were personally selected by Nalanda. They weren't far from the buried Emperor Star. Moreover, the distance between the 5 of them was also very close. This saved Lin Xian a lot of trouble. Let's go and collect them. These 5 world cores, in addition to the one he had obtained from the 6 Paths cultivator. If he swallowed all 6 realm cores and brought them into the mysterious world, what would happen? Lin Xian was looking forward to it. He boarded the Black Earth and left the Tao sect, heading into the universe. He knew that he had to cultivate with all his might. Although he was very strong now, he didn't dare to underestimate anyone in the world, especially the Dragon Prince. As the Emperor's son, the Dragon Prince probably controlled many more worlds than him. Lin Xian had been to the core area of the Tao sect once. He felt that the core area was formed by the fusion of many worlds. The power inside was definitely not something that a young disciple could imagine. If the Tao sect was already so terrifying, the Emperor race would be even more terrifying. Moreover, the Dragon Prince cultivated the Emperor's ancient scripture. He might even be able to use an extreme weapon. Therefore, to him, the Dragon Prince was a peerless enemy. Of the 6 world cores, 2 of them were inhabited by living beings. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't go and collect them. As for the other 4, he used the heaven-devouring jar to swallow them. Then, the heaven-devouring jar entered the mysterious world and was refined into a star. 4 more stars appeared in the sky, all of them surrounding the Four-Spirit Valley. This caused the aura of the Four-Spirit Valley to change instantly. The ground there quickly recovered and released a mysterious power. The spiritual herbs in the Four-Spirit Valley grew crazily. The leaves surrounded the great Tao, which shocked the 4 spirit beasts. What happened to the heavens? They were dumbfounded. When they raised their heads and saw the 4 stars shining in the sky, the 4 of them opened their mouths wide. This kid had obtained another 4 worlds and refined them into stars. Was he really going to evolve this world into a universe? The spirit dragon said that he was still far from it. How many worlds were there in the universe? However, this kid was able to obtain 4 in such a short time. It was really shocking. The four spirit beasts also felt the difference now. Their strength was also recovering, although it wasn't at its peak. However, this mysterious power shocked and made them ecstatic. Now, even if Lin Xian chased them away, these four fellows probably wouldn't leave. Lin Xian naturally felt the changes in the Four Spirit Valley. The corners of his mouth curled up. When he took out a spiritual herb from the Four Spirit Valley and ate it, the injuries he had suffered in the past were all healed. Lin Xian was shocked. According to his estimation, it would take another 2 months for him to fully recover from his injuries. But now, everything was as good as new. He had recovered to his peak. It was too godly. From the looks of it, his train of thought was right. As for the other 2-star worlds, Lin Xian also went there. He had fused with the world core and became the ruler of the 2 worlds. He could use the power of these 2 worlds. He found 2 top-grade or veins inside. They emitted a terrifying aura and then moved to the Sword World, placing them around the Four Spirit Valley. 2 top-grade or veins, 1 red and 1 purple. After entering, their powers were quickly absorbed. However, they did not disappear like the 4 spirit veins. Instead, they stabilized after reaching a certain extent. Following that, their bodies also released a mysterious aura. It seemed like they had obtained a trace of the mysterious world's power. I wonder what will happen after the 2 or veins evolve? Lin Xian walked out of the Sword World and walked into the forest. This world was called the Lightning Star and contained an extremely strong lightning aura. The strongest person in this world had only cultivated to the Saint Realm. Lin Xian was like a god, feeling his world. It was as if he had become one with the entire star. It was a wonderful feeling. Boom. At this moment, the sky suddenly darkened. Then the entire world was filled with cracks, as if it was about to be destroyed. The demon beasts and humans in the lightning star were terrified. They crawled on the ground, unable to resist at all. A few saints rushed out and shouted angrily. Who is it? Boom! You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.